Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the PiGosaur Cup. PiGosaur Cup number 64. Your weekly dose of Open StarCraft. I'm of course VIP. With you, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat as well. Welcome, one and all, to one of our many catch-up casts. Here we go. Once again, just to reiterate, January was very lean for us when it came to casting. We were unavailable to cover a lot of events, and we've been slowly catching on up. We caught up with Rongi Cup. We caught up with Thunderfire. We are catching up. We're in the middle of catching up with Homestory Cup, and we are also catching up with some PiGosaur Cup casts as well. So again, this is going to be a replay cast here for PiGosaur Cup 64. We still have to cast 65 and 66 as well. I think it's 65, 66, and 68 still yet to cast. But we'll get there. We will get there. Whenever there's a free slot available, we got you, we got you. You may also be wondering, hold up, weren't you meant to be casting Wardy TV Monday at the moment? We were, but unfortunately I don't actually have the replays for that event yet, so we will be rescheduling that to a little bit later on down in the week. So do expect to see a Wardy TV Monday, most likely on Wednesday, most likely. But we'll see. We'll try to move some things around and try to accommodate for whenever we do receive said replays. Until then, though, we are jumping into PiGosaur Cup. Let's go. Let us go. We have our first series of the broadcast. Now, for this event, we don't have that many matches, so we're going to be jumping into the semifinals. Our semifinals here, best of five between ByuN and Solar. Let's go. Oh, let us go. As we are jumping into our first series of the broadcast. Let's go. Let us go. This broadcast should be a little bit leaner as well, just because we have the semifinals and finals. Does also mean that we have some time to cover some viewer replays as well. We do have some viewer replays submitted, so we can cover them after the event. For now, they're spawning in the top right hand corner of Title Citadel. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Zerg player, the South Korean Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. Here we go. Whew, here we go. We can settle in. And again, when it comes to our TVZ here, I would say that both Solar and ByuN are quite close in skill. Solar, he has been excelling as of late, has been really stepping up and kind of filling the shoes that Dark did kind of like leave, if you recall, in regards to top Zerg play in South Korea. At this point, I will say that Solar, he has distinguished himself amongst Shin, or amongst the rest, specifically against Shin, to the point where Solar is now, I would say, the best Zerg player in South Korea, followed by Shin and then Rogue. And yeah, Solar, he has been improving quite heavily. He's been very aggressive as of late as well, very aggressive in all matchups. Not quite on the level as Dark, but has been aggressive nonetheless. We have been seeing specifically in ZVT a lot of Hydra timings and Hydra all-ins. It's been really interesting to see these earlier lair builds not going into a Spire, but instead going into a Hydra Den. Into a Hydra Den, skipping Banelings, going to Ling Hydra, and hitting a very strong timing. Very Miyamika-esque, if you recall. Miyamika was playing around with early Hydra timings years ago, and it does feel like we're seeing a bit of a like echo of that, in current meta. And again, it's something that we've been seeing from Solar, from Shin, from a lot of the Korean Zerg players, even permeating throughout the European scene as of late as well. So we'll see if we do embrace that at some point in the series. I'm sure we will. Until then, standard opener out of ByuN, going Rax Expand. Again, ByuN, likewise, when it comes to TVZ, is often very biocentric. Likewise, does often still mix in 2 Rax Reaper openers. We're not seeing it here, but I'm sure we'll see that at some point in the series. Until then, though, welcome to Title Citadel. Title Citadel is one of the larger maps of the map pool. Longer rush distance by ground. We have the goal base off to the side, but more importantly, the bases themselves are very spread out. Rotating and trying to keep up with army movement and defending your 3rd base, your 4th base, your 5th base can be quite difficult here on Title Citadel, just because of the distance between the bases themselves. So we'll see how our players do compared to each other getting into the mid game, assuming we get there. For now, Reaper does break in. Reaper pokes in. Solar does pulls out of gas, getting link speed and settling into our early game. From here, Solar does take the triangular 3rd base. ByuN is checking. Does rotate around, dipping in towards the main. Behind this, we have a 3rd CC before Starport. Economic build here by ByuN, going for his command center. So far, this is as standard as standard can get in from both the Terran and Zerg perspective. Here we go. Behind this, going for a starport. Again, there's no crazy 3cc 2-1-1, for example. We're calming down. We are coming down. Oh, nice pick off. A Reaper breaks in, takes down the tumor. Nice pick off here by ByuN, as he does pull away. Likewise, behind this, we do have our Tekka follow-up here, headed towards potentially Banshee play with that add-on swap. To ByuN if he wants to switch into that. Likewise, Solo will soon get into his tech of choice. For now, still droning, still saturating. We'll soon get to the point where we get to see whether or not Solo wants to go into Lair, into Eva Chamber, or Bailey Nest, or even Roadrun. We will see. As Hellions, they do threaten a dive. Stim is going to be on the way. Stim, Banshee play as well. No cloak, true, bear that in mind. So a lighter commitment here into Banshee. And ByuN does pick forward. We have more Hellions amassing. We have the answer here. It's going to be Lair first out of Solar. Okay, is going Lair first. So it's being a little bit more tech heavy here. The Overlord Scout is dipping in, does confirm the timing of the extra Raxes, does confirm the build. Oh, even revealing fake cloak. Okay. Cheeky move out of ByuN. Yeah, starts up the upgrade just to reveal, just to force an overreaction. Spores are being thrown down as we speak. So far, so good. So cheeky moves out of ByuN. Likewise, he dips into the mineral line, catching out 4 drones. 4 drones in the tumor, not bad. As ByuN doesn't commit. Likewise, we do see the Banshee get into the mineral line, getting 1 drone, and that was not quite worth it here. Big overextension out of ByuN. Did at least force out all these spores, but the Banshee left much to be desired. So decent pickoffs here with the Hellions, less so with the Banshee, and we have the answer here. If you remember, we actually just spoke about this at the start of this series. Actually, we spoke about how Solar and a bunch of Zerg players have been following suit. We've been seeing these very heavy Hydra timings. You're seeing it here. Lair first into a Hydra den before Bailey Nest. Again, Bailey Nest is going to be avoided completely, if not just delayed heavily, going into a more Hydra heavy composition into +1 range. Yep, there it is. +1 range is on the way. So again, a big Hydra timing here for Solar. Solar's been very fond of this style over the past maybe 2 months. Now, when it comes to this Hydra timing, this does fall in its face if the Terran player does scatter ahead of time and builds up a heavy tank count. Typically against a Ling Bane, you do want a more Widowmine heavy composition, but against a heavy Hydra composition like this, you do want more tanks. Naturally, ByuN is already making 2 to 3 tanks, which is standard, but ByuN has to confirm what's going on to make sure he continues tank production. There's that later Bailey Nest. Now Solar's joining up and is deflecting any kind of Hellion move outs. ByuN is still in the dark.
Add-on complete.
Yeah, still playing blind. Setting up for his first move outs. He's going for a 7-minute push. He's spotted by Solar. Yeah, Ling does confirm. And Solar's getting ready. The Queens, they're getting caught out. The Queens have to back up. Hydras are confirmed. Big scan. ByuN now knows. Morphs in the Hellbats. And without any Banelings to defend, it's going to be a tough hold here for Solar. It's going to be difficult defense. Can they get on top of the Hydras? Army Sims in. It dusts him in. At the same time, Lings are coming from behind. They catch out one of the tanks. Nice pick up here by Solar. He gets one to get both tanks. And that's going to be the end of the push. That's the end of the push here. Both tanks go down. Again, ByuN, he was not expecting a flank with that Solar hold. And the scary thing about this defense here is that Solar, he still retains all of his Hydras. ByuN's in trouble. ByuN is in a lot of trouble here. His tank up was reset. That means he's weaker back at home. He's got 1 tank, soon to be 2. And Solar, he can start to move out. catching our Marines, forcing the pickup. And does turn ByuN away. As he moves out, we do see a job moving out on the right hand side. Will force a cancel. Oh, gets a kill. Kills a hatchery. Not bad. Hatchery does go down. Behind this, we do see ByuN with some nice SimCity here. Nice choke points. So there's 2 tanks. And ByuN will hold. And he does hold on. With that, Soul is going to be deflected. And from here, we have the Hive and Lurker Den. We're rushing into Lurker Tech. It's going to be Hive Tech Lurkers out of Solar. You can see as well that he did get a Baneling Nest, but he's only just now morphing in Banelings. He's been preserving his gas for as long as possible, getting the faster Hive. So again, very greedy play here by Solar. Very greedy. And he's getting away with it. Even catching the medevac. Medevac goes down. ByuN is deflected. And the Lurker Den is halfway done. Behind this, Solo just taking his gases, building on up. And ByuN, he's in a rough position here. ByuN has no momentum. It is the issue. So ByuN, he's stuck at home, slowly getting his 4th base. Solo's maxed. Solo, he's maxed out. Solo can start to push in. We do see ByuN switching into a more heavy mine composition. That's going to be amazing against the Ling Bane, less so against the Hydras and Lurkers. Hydra gets baited. And nice base, nice splits out of Solar. Oh my god. Base out the line. Soul's making his way towards the would-be 4th base. And it's going to be lifted. And it's going to be lifted. These SCVs, they will go down. There's no saving them. ByuN, he's just forced away. At the same time, we do have some drops across the map, but they're reinforcements. And there's just so marine heavy here for ByuN. The CC goes down. Yeah, it's a kill, not a cancel. Banelings jet roll past. He's going back to Marines, and almost every Marauder was picked up. And from here, Soul, he defends back at home. He pulls away. Gonna kill the expansion. Did not float away. And Soul can back off, rebuild, remax, this time with Lurker Tech. Lurker upgrades are on the way. We have Lurker range. A couple of Vipers just arrived. I think there's 2? 1. Okay, there's 1 Viper. Soul is already remaxed. Oh, and ByuN, he's forced to counterattack. Ay, ay, ay. Again, Solar, more or less, he's ready for this. Shows the mine shots. Ah, they're not gonna get. there's not enough Widow Mines. Bane's taking that shit. Ah, the Bio army is trapped. They cannot get away. And with that Solar, he just annihilates the army, crushes ByuN. And Solar's just gonna snowball out of control. He can just keep on pushing. He can keep rushing forward. ByuN is forced back to his 3rd base. Hydras, they can hold their own. And behind this is no tank line. There's no siege position. GG gets called, and Solar, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. And again, a very rough early game there for ByuN. When it came to the build was fine, but remember what happened in the early game. ByuN, he went for his 7-minute push. For his 7-minute push, he didn't really know what he was moving into. He scanned ahead of time. He saw the Hydras. He was already across the map. He committed. He got flanked, and as soon as he lost that push, as soon as he lost those 2 tanks, that was game. That meant that ByuN, he lost map control, lost momentum, he was stuck at home. It allowed Solar to max out with Ling, Bane, Hydra, to tech up into Lurkers, to get away with his greed as well, and to snowball out of control. So just a really rough start there, losing those early tanks, losing that early push. It meant that ByuN, he was just stuck at home. GG. GG, well played. ByuN, he attempted to go for drop play, which is the correct thing to do, but again, the army was in position to deny the drops. Because we're so Hydra heavy, medevacs have a harder time actually gaining value and getting across the map as they were being intercepted and hunted down. GG. GG, well played. With that, Solar does take a lead in the series. Now we're going to be loading into game number 2. Let's go. Getting into game 2 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Green Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. Here we go. Now, welcome to White Rabbit. So this is a larger map in the map pool, more open map as well. I'll be honest, I don't think we'll be seeing that Hydra-based follow-up or that Hydra-based mid-game here in Game 2 by Solar. We'll see. Bearing in mind that ByuN will also be adjusting his build and adjusting his approach, so we'll see what kind of adaptations are going to be made here by both Solar and ByuN. As a reminder, what did Solar do? Solar, he went lair first. He went lair first into hydrogen, into W chamber, into +1 range, into his Hydra heavy composition. This time, oh, going for a later gas on White Rabbit. Okay. You have my attention. So a hatch pool opener here out of Solar, delayed gas, delayed link speed out of our Zerg player. You often do see this kind of build on maps like Celestial Enclave, on maps where you have a really secure natural with a ramp, with a choke point, with a pocket base. And going for this on White Rabbit is risky. There's a risky maneuver here by Solar. We'll see if we can get away with it. If you're curious what's happening here, so late gas means late link speed. There's a higher chance that because the gas is so late to the Solar, he might even go lair first. He might even go lair first instead. If we do see lair first, we could even see 2-base Muta. True. Otherwise, we could see what is often here, what is quite common if you do go for a later gas geyser, is skipping link speed into a faster Roach Warren instead, into a more Roach heavy style. So we'll keep an eye on Solar. Reaper does move out. ByuN so far just getting into his 1-1. So there's no 2-1-1. We have confirmation. Max into factory. Does he go for a starport? Does he go for a third CC? Eyes are on ByuN. Reaper does pick in. Threads the mineral line. Thread pulls away. Looks like ByuN is going for the CC a little bit late here as he's banking up to 500. Oh no, he's going for a 1-1-1. Okay, yeah, my attention. Let's go. So he does mix it up here. A much more aggressive build, much more aggressive here. With this, we have a 1-1-1 late third expansion, a higher chance that we build up into more Hellions, and then we build up into a Hellbat push. This can lead into Hellbats, this can lead in, technically this can lead into BC, but I don't really think that's the direction that ByuN is heading in. Show us what you got. Meanwhile, we just see that Solar, he does go into link speed. Later link speed out of Solar. Earlier Queens. Claiming his third base. Joining up. You can see here that Solar, he does pull back into gas much faster as well. And we'll see where that gas is going to be spent. We shall see. Meanwhile, Hellion Banshee is amassing. Rax is making a tech lab for Stim. Building up into Stim. And the pressure's on ByuN to find some damage here. Bearing in mind that, again, most likely he's going to be going for a Stim timing. Ooh, the Overlord does scout, does confirm everything, does confirm the 1-1-1. Solar knows. Solar, he knows. Hellions back in. Oh god, no! The Hellions, they poke further in, they get take a lot of hits, they take a lot of damage, not quite worth it. And ByuN's being chased down. He will lose 2 Hellions. Ay. Again, if the plan was to go for Hellbats, losing 2 Hellions is huge. Behind this, ByuN is going for a very late third CC. So late third expansion, once again, lair first out of Solar, lair before Eva Chambers, lair before anything else. And she's deflected, and yeah, ByuN is finding a hard time finding any damage. He's having a hard time finding any damage here. Oh, no Spore there, okay. Yeah, no Spore, that's on Solar. Remember, he scouted the 1-1-1, he should have had Spores ready for this. Using 1, 2, 4 drone kills, up to 5, up to 6. Ay. Yeah, Solar not respecting what he scouted. I still no Spore in the natural. Oh god. And ByuN is popping up. This makes up for the dead Hellions. Does make up for it. Getting 9 drone kills. The Banshee's still alive. Behind this, ByuN is building up into his fire. E-Bays are on the way, but the Banshee has arrived. Ooh, the first one went down. Yeah, first one did fly too close to the sun. Did get picked up. Hellions are still sharking around. Once again, Hydrogen in 2+1 range. Once again, it's the same follow-up out of Solar, 2 games in a row. The initial opener was different. Oh, can he get a queen? He does get a queen. Ooh, can he get 2? Very nice pick up here by ByuN. Gets 9 drones, gets the queen, pulls away. Not bad. And again, this does help make up for the later expansion. Ooh, Solar catching at the Hellions. At least trying to. Picks off 2 more. 2 more Hellions go down. ByuN is building up his fire. Now, I'm curious to see if ByuN turns this into an 8 racks. Right now, he's got 5 raxes, 3 bases, everything's looking standard. We'll see if ByuN throws down 3 more raxes, try to break his opponent for skipping Banelings and for going into a Hydra heavy style. I do like the idea of 8 raxing against this. I do think it'd be quite potent, but we'll see. As here comes the first 7-minute push. Just like last game, except this time ByuN, he's had a better early game. Crippling the economy. Nice positioning here on top of the high ground as well. ByuN does move in. And he wants that 4th base. Wants expansion, drain the army within range. Yeah, Tank Boy is going for the Hydras. Free shots, free damage. Lings are coming from behind, but there are Hellions to defend. No Hellbats though. Yeah, they're not Hellbats, but tanks go down, and Solar Heat does hold. I believe there was an armory. Yeah, there was an armory back at home. Oof. So a bit of a blunder there by ByuN. This also, I mean, imagine a world where ByuN, he had retained his Hellions from the early game. He morphed in those Hellbats just to protect the tanks. Like, that's something that Cure is known for, of course. To have those defensive Hellbats next to the tanks. And we might have seen ByuN keep pushing. He's deflected. ByuN still rallying in. Back and is taking gases, so ByuN is taking up. Nice kiting here by ByuN. So far, nice kiting. ByuN still trying to apply pressure here, still trying to push in. Doesn't leave anything on the high ground though. I just get the tank. So he just walks in, he just gets a tank. Yeah. Lings here for the counter attack instead. SCVs are going down, and ByuN's getting picked apart. He's getting picked apart. Again, I'm surprised he didn't commit. I'm surprised he didn't go for an 8 racks. Still going for the 7-minute push here. It falls on its face, and Soul's about to max out. He's about to max out. So nice drop here on the right hand side. Very necessary. Gets 5 drones. Gets a 5th base. We spoke with this at the start of the game, but rotating back and forth defensively between your 4th and 5th is very difficult in this map. Oh! Medevac goes down. Catching at the Medevac, catching at the Banshee. But again, ByuN is hurting. And we do see Solo once again rushing to the Hive and Lurker Den. So Soul's looking to outscale, and you can already see the difference here. If you remember, we actually spoke about this at the start of the first game. How this heavy Hydra style is weaker against a more tank heavy composition. Last game we saw that ByuN was switching into Widow Mines. Here you can see he is committing and still committed into tank production, which is a good call. Again, ByuN, he has to be more defensive and he has to build up his tanks. So he's adapting after the last game. He's making 2 tanks at a time. The problem is, has ByuN lost too much momentum, right? Again, Solar's already maxed out. These jobs are built up by time. Denying creep, keeping Solar busy, keeping him from pushing. And if ByuN can establish his 4th base, ByuN can stabilize. He's getting there. Hanky now. Looks like unfortunately we did have a disconnect. Solar bouncing in. Does force the pickup. Solar so far is keeping up, deflecting, but at least Solar hasn't been able to push, right? We spoke about this earlier, but ByuN, because of his drop play, has been keeping Solar busy while ByuN secures his 4th, now pushing forward. ByuN has stabilized. And now Solar, he needs Vipers. 2 Vipers so far. Same time Solar, he attempts a run by. Tanks do defend. ByuN is turtling up. Vipers coming in for a flank. The tanks are nicely spread though. It's going to take a lot of lightning clouds. Oh, and again, how does Solar engage into this? He's coming in for a round. Oh, not quite. Lightning clouds 1. Gets 1, 2, 3, gets all the tanks. Okay, 4 tanks go down. Catching out all the tanks, getting a 5th tank towards the end. Solar lunging forward, and he barely gets the final tank, just barely. Whew. 6 tanks go down. Solar pulls away. Solar, oh god. Pulls away, we'll lose the 4th base. 4th base goes down. Gets a medevac. Does we get one of the medevacs. Meanwhile, ByuN just once again backing up and building up more tanks. Jesus. I will say that the SimCity is lacking here. We could do with more CCs, with more planetaries. We're not fully turtled up. Nice snipe here on the Viper. And an awkward engage out of Solar. Open engage. Now, as all this is happening, of course, Solar, he's mass expanding, taking the center base, taking the center right and center left hand bases as well, and taking up into what? This should be for a Broodlord, or for Greater Spire. For Greater Spire into Broodlord tech. How do you deal with a turtling Terran like this? Is with Broodlord Infestor. We're getting there. Yo, meanwhile, big shout to Sammy in the chat. God, thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. Buenas noches. Buenas noches. I know it's quite late in the Americas. Get some sleep, Pappy. Get some sleep. Thank you for the raid. Solar does catch 3 tanks. Headed for the planetary. The planetary is going to be broken. Again, these tanks are just so far back. So far back for ByuN. Another base almost goes down. ByuN, he just commits right through the center. Ooh. Solo, where are the lurkers? They're going for the Nidus. Their defensive workers out of position. And ByuN does get a base. ByuN gets a base. Solo going for the counterattack instead. Ducklings are coming in. He can kill the planetary. Oh my god. Yeah, shots going off, catching out some SCVs. And it may just barely be enough. At the same time, Solo pushing on the left hand side as well, just pulling ByuN apart. One more volley. Autobas! The planetary goes down. And Bane's to get into the mineral line. 31, 32 SCV kills. Ay, ay, ay. 2 full mineral lines. 34 SCVs. And you can see how difficult it is to turtle up here on White Rabbit, despite the massive tank lines. Again, we spoke about it at the start of the game, and it was even applicable to Solar as well, but trying to rotate back and forth between this triangular third base and the linear third, it's so difficult. So difficult to rotate. So difficult for your army to be in position. And ByuN cannot keep up. He cannot keep up. The army goes back in, going for another CC. ByuN trying to respond. Does save the command center. Oh no, he gets it! So he lunged for the command center. Did snipe it in the end. And ByuN, he has no mining. He has nothing in the main. He has almost nothing here at the natural. He's got one patch in the natural, and he has one mining base here in the center. He's on a 1 base economy. What you see is what you get. ByuN, he cannot afford to build anything else. There's no bank. Has limited income. Down to 47 workers. Yeah, he's got mules though, true. Copium. He's got the mules. Now, Solar did lose 2 expansions, to be fair. He lost his center base and center left as well, which are the most important mining bases for Solar, outside of center right. So Solar, he's also hurting. He's also hurting. The army does launch in. Oh, yeah, and again, he just gets overwhelmed. ByuN, he cannot hold his own. Once again, he's got a bunch of tanks a little bit further back. The main army gets crushed. We got a couple of ghosts left over. ByuN's holding on back. Nice catch on the ghost. Yeah, Crow's gonna get caught out. And again, this is the final push here for ByuN. Does bring all his tanks together though. Jesus. That's a lot of tanks. Lings, they coming from behind. They get us around. And the tanks are all cleaned up. We got 1 tank left. The blinding clouds. And with that, ByuN, he's running out of steam. He's down to 1 ghost, 2 marines, a couple of tanks. It's barely hanging on. ByuN sorry, Solar doesn't denies mining. ByuN, did he notice the bar? He did. Does scan. Does notice at least some of the Zerglings. But GG, yeah, GG gets called. The writing's been on the wall, and a Solar, he will take game number 2, extending his lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Solar once again going for this Hydra heavy style here early on. We did see ByuN mix it up a little bit here, but again, I'm a little bit shocked he still went for the same 7-minute push with 2 tanks. It was unfortunate. We spoke about it, how in the lead up to that he did lose most of his tanks, most of his Hellions, I meant to say, to support his tanks. Typically we'd have 4 or 6 Hellions there morphing into Hellbats to keep those tanks alive. Unfortunately, ByuN, he only had 2, and he did not put morph them into Hellbats either. He had the armory, didn't morph them in. The tanks got got picked off early, and once ByuN lost that first push, I mean, he lost all that momentum. Solo got comfortable, maxed out, GG. GG, well played. Did see some nice moves out of ByuN when it came to his drop play. He was able to snipe some bases and distract on the right hand side as well. True, distract on the right, distract on the left. This goes into what we mentioned about the map itself. On White Rabbit, it can be very, very difficult to defend your fringe locations, one extreme and then the other extreme side. It can be very difficult to defend. We saw that from Solar, but we also saw that from ByuN as well. Both players. Aye. And with that, GG, well played. We're now getting into game 3, and I'm hoping that we can extend this series. I'm hoping we can get a game 4, game 5, but the pressure is on ByuN. Oh boy. The pressure is on. Let's go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Zerg player, the South Korean Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is a Solar. We go. And coming into this, I do like the direction that ByuN was going in towards the later half of that game, referring to just turtling up with mass tanks and walling up. The problem was twofold. One, White Rabbit is a very open map, and it's much more difficult to achieve that compared to Winter Madness, for example. So it's just a very, very hard map to successfully turtle up and wall up on. And also we spoke about how spread out and how spread thin you are. That also is applicable to White Rabbit. But the other thing is, if you recall, this decision was made after ByuN lost momentum, after he fell behind. After he fell behind, that's when he decided to start turtling up and start building up into a mass tank composition after, again, just having a really rough early to mid game. So hopefully ByuN can tighten things up early on, gain momentum, and bring us to a game 4. ByuN. Coming into Winter Madness, as I was kind of alluding to, this is a much easier map to defend on and to turtle up on. If he were to build up on 4 bases, then there are more choke points available to him to wall up, to wall off, to set up tanks, and to force a longer and later game, and to stabilize as well. So that is going to be a little bit more accessible here to ByuN if you want to go for that route. Likewise, Solar doesn't have to go for the same kind of build. We have been seeing twice now this more heavy Hydra style with this earlier Hydra Den. Do we see that again, or do we see Solar mix things up a little bit here and go into something more standard, or even go into something like Mutaplay? Oh, as looks like it did have a pause. Thankfully everything's okay. Thankfully. Once again, our players are amassing. Reaper does pick in. Fastball's keeping up. Now, last game, just as a quick reminder here, ByuN, he actually had a decent early game as he was able to get a bunch of drone kills with his Banshees. He got 9 kills with his first Banshee. This was before the 7-minute push, if you recall. As he went for a 1-1-1, this time he's going for a 3rd CC. So 3rd CC before Starport. This time we have a much more economic build, so the chances of ByuN getting that much early game damage is much lower this time, as ByuN is not as committed. Oh, meanwhile, 3-minute lair. I should have noticed, but link speed, and he didn't pull out. Solar did not pull out of the gas. He did stay in, and we see why. 3-minute lair timing. This could be one of two things. We'll keep an eye on Solar, but if he takes extra gases, this should be for 2-base lair into 2-base Muta, which was one of the possibilities we did assume here for Solar. Otherwise, we could see a Link Queen Nidus all-in with minimal gases, with a Nidus Swarm into an all-in across the map. You can see the Overlord is getting in position behind the main base. Yo, feels like Nidus. And ByuN has no idea. ByuN currently has no idea. 3rd base has been thrown down. Everything looks normal so far. ByuN, he did not get into the main. He did not check the gases. Ooh. Yeah, didn't check the gases here. You can see no extra gas. Yeah, no extra gas, so it should be a Nidus Worm. We're setting up for the all-in. Lings are building up. More queens as well. can even see here, transferring workers over. Nidus is now on the way. And the win condition for Solar is deny the scout. Ensure that this Reaper Hellion does not get in. Doesn't get in. Behind this, we do have Raven. Wait, what? Raven? ByuN going for Raven Harass instead of Banshee. This means it's going to be even weaker here defensively, of course, as it's NG based instead. You can throw it out an order turret, I suppose. Airlord comes in for the scouts, looking normal. Distracting ByuN. Meanwhile, here comes the Nidus. And ByuN is still playing blind. ByuN still has no idea. No, shut. He still has no idea. There we go. He scouts the Nidus. He's now aware. He's racing back home. Hellions, they try to bust into the main base. The boys are being pulled. The Nidus, can he deny it? It's going to be close. Oh no. The Nidus getting low. Do we transfuse in time? No transfuse. No transfuse. Two queens get caught out. The boys did well. And ByuN is holding. ByuN is holding on, catching out both queens. Big defense at the same time. Lings they fled into the natural. ByuN can't afford to lose that. Just has to ensure the Nidus is denied, and he will deny that Nidus worm. Yeah, Nidus goes down twice. Solo still very all in. Ooh. Cashing out a Hellion, killing 11 SCVs. Does kill 11 workers, and Solo, oof, now he starts to drone. So Solo, he's admitted that he cannot end the game. He cannot end the game. He's going to try to drone up. Nidus is denied by the auto turrets. And Solo is behind. So he's behind it. He has not done enough damage. 11 SCVs is nice. That's great. Not good enough. Bearing in mind that ByuN still has an even worker count plus a third CC plus mules. So ByuN is ahead. ByuN is ahead. And Solar now throwing down the Bailey Nest. Again, he was heavily reliant on ByuN not seeing the Nidus, but ByuN did react in time, just barely. Shout out to the MVP SCVs, by the way. I don't know if you noticed, when the Nidus finished and went, oh no, Anki, feels Anki, man. That's the second time he's DC'd. Hope everything clears up for him in later matches. But if you notice, when the Nidus finished, there were a bunch of SCVs surrounding it, and it forced the Queen to spawn in off of creep. If you notice, typically when the Queen spawns in, you can transfuse immediately and keep the Nidus worm alive, but the Queen was actually pushed off of creep by the SCVs, so he could not transfuse. So the MVP SCVs. Meanwhile, ByuN, he does establish his third base. And we'll see if Solar can recover. It's going to be a rough road to recovery here. Solar, he's trying to catch up in upgrades, getting to 1-1, getting to Banelings, getting a fourth base, joining up as hard as he can. The reality is that because of all this catching up that Solar's doing, it does mean that his army is going to be that much weaker when ByuN decides to move out. Does ByuN push though? That is the question. We should be gearing up towards a move out at this point. Stim is done, and ideally 1-1 would be finishing in time with this move out, but everything has been delayed because of the weird build, because of the weird early game. So ByuN is pushing. He's moving out. This will hit with at least combat shields. And we'll see if Solar can survive this. For the Hellions. Hellions are staying back home to defend. They're not with the main army. Army gets spotted. Solar getting ready. Remember, this is going to be a defense without any bailing speed. Solar coming in from behind. He's setting up to collapse on the tanks. At the same time, Raven Harass here at the natural. Yo, shout out to the Mega in the chat. Este the Mega. Ay, papi. Oh no! Gets a queen. Yeah, new command there from Solar. Losing 1. 2 queens go down. Lings are coming from behind. And Solar, can he clean this up? Does get on top of the tanks. Yeah, nice round. Nice round. Gets one. Gets both tanks. Hellions are a little bit too late. Yeah, too little too late. And Solar, he will hold. Solar, he does hold on. Here we bless. Ah, thank you, Mega. Thank you. Gracias, papi. Gracias. Solar does collapse in. Gets us around. Very nice catch. Yeah, ByuN's overextending. At this point, ByuN is overextending. For him to still keep pushing like this, despite losing the tanks as well, was questionable. Behind this, ByuN going for a 4 CC. Still trying to maintain his presence here. But ByuN has to be careful not to be too wasteful. pushing through the center. Moving through the center. At this point, Solar, he's almost stabilized. Like, the upgrades are still a little bit choppy here, and we're just now starting the Hive. Hive is now on the way. But ByuN should not be able to break this expansion. Let's go. One tank on the high ground. Solar setting up for the flank. Oh, they're planning to rush in. Catching at the Hellbats. And once again collapsing the army, getting on top of the tanks. Tanks are going to go down. Minimal Banelings though. There's not many, but still enough. Yeah, still going to be enough. Does force a pickup. Solar, he does barely hold on. Another push on the right hand side. We do see that ByuN is making the switch into more Widow Mines. Into a more mine heavy composition this time. And Solar, can he defend both locations at once? It's going to be close. Oh my god. Takes down the Widow Mine. The Marines, they trade very well here. Yeah, they shut down the Lings. They hold their own. Getting on top of the Hydras. Very off defense here by Solar. Losing so much. That was 94 Lings, by the way. 94 Lings. Ay, ay, ay. Hey, crazy losses there for Solar. And ByuN, he needs more moments like that. He needs to force some bad fights out of Solar. As Solar has been lacking Banelings. Even here, only a handful of Banelings. Let's see if we can hold on. Mine's just getting baited. Oof. Decent mine connections. So does get into the Medevacs. Very nice catch here for Solar. Medevacs go down, cleans up every single Marine. Stronger defense on the right hand side. And Solar, can he survive until Lurker attack? That's going to be the big swing here in momentum in favor of Solar. Lurker then is done. Lurker upgrades are on the way. After the next big fight, Solar can start to morph in those Lurkers. And then he can push. Drags the mine. Ooh, yeah, drags at the mine, forcing friendly fire. Collapsing the army, Lycra's pushing up the ramp as well. Catching at the Widow Mine. And ByuN is secure on 4 bases here, but Solar is now gaining map control. He's gaining map control. Starting to break out. Lurker upgrades is now done. Solar, he wants that planetary. Can he get it? Solar pulling back for now. We do have a double jump towards the natural. Yeah, Solar, he reacts. Oof. Cashing out a full medevac. There's one medevac left, but this does distract Solar. Drags him back home. As we should be seeing another power bomb. Or abduction. And this is allowing ByuN to max out. So ByuN is maxing out. We have a fusion core on the way. That should be for limited range. Getting to 3-3 upgrades. Ooh. There's that power bomb. Solo so far can still just commit into this more Ling Bane Hydra heavy composition. Still committing. Now as ByuN gets a 5th base, now he's spreading himself more thin. It's very open here at the 5th location. Much easier for Solo to engage into. Defensive Nidus Worms. There's that lip range we did mention. Solo rolling in. Oh, Jesus. Calm down. Yeah, collapse to the right hand side. Awkward choke point. Does catch out 2 Liberators. Does keep going in. Yeah, chasing back the main army. Planetary does finish. Solo has to get out of here. Does get all the Liberators though. Okay. Takes on the Libs. Does save his Hydras at least. Well, we're going to bring everything together here. Gonna bring it all together. Has Solo here attempts to Nidus into the bases. Here we go. Lurkers finally then morphing in. The Lunkers, Pappy. They're on the way. Meanwhile, shout out to Slow Joe in the chat. Gah, Pappy, gah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving a sub. Oh, to Psychons, Pappy. Oh my god. Thank you, Pappy. Thank you. Ah, giving him a duck, Pappy. Gave him a duck. As Ling Bane does collapse in, catching out the Widow Mines, zoning away and just isolating the 5th base. And the Planetary does fall. Massive pick of 21 SCV kills. At the same time, ByuN does counterattack. Trading a base for a base. Solo, he's racing back home. Does race back. Biggest issue here is the Solo can afford these trades. ByuN cannot. Nowhere near as much. As he's also being so annoying. Main army is gaining ground. Do we have duct? Parabomb, okay. ByuN is trying to commit in. Solo needs more time to build up his army. And Ling Bane trying to connect. Cleans up the bio. Not many Hydras left over. Yeah, there's not much anti-air. Not much anti-air, but Elastic Ground Army is still completely cleaned up. Yo, we got 2 Hydras. Let's go. Casito. Yeah, again, limited anti-air. Mining's being denied. Solo getting pulled apart a little bit here. And amidst all this chaos, there's no injections. Jeez, that's a lot of mules. Solo, he spots the expansion. ByuN is still maintaining his economy. He's got the mules. Jesus. Some more mules have dropped off. And again, a very shaky defense here from Solar. That's a lot of Hydras. Jesus. Building up his Hydra count. And there's only 1 Lurker left. But Solar should have enough here. Hydras have arrived. He's got his Hydras. And now switching to more Corruptor Lurker heavy composition. I has to fight for those Lurkers though. Uh-oh. He has to fight. Solo, he's burned through his bank. ByuN, he can break through. Oh my god. Lurkers they morph in just in time. He's got his Lunkers. As these Zeros are becoming an issue. Pushing further in, forcing the fight. Forcing the commitment. Ooh, and Solo barely doesn't have enough. Yeah, Solo's being broken. ByuN is snowballing out of control. Again, that bank that Solo once had isn't there anymore. Down to 2 Lurkers. And Solo cannot fight this. He cannot fight this. There's too much bio. Too much man with gun. And we're going to make a series out of this. Okay. We're making a series out of this. It's not going to be a 3-0. Yeah, the base falls. Mineral line as well. Now Sola, if he's given time to build up his lurker count, then he can defend. True. He can defend, he can hold on. Oh, he lost so many corruptors as well. Down to 3 corruptors. This is it. No. ByuN's now rotating. Remember, he established that center of 5th base. Now going for a 6th. ByuN does have the greater economy. So hold on. So he does have a little bit of breathing room here. Has some room to breathe. Ghost Academy's on the way. No ghost yet. He's getting there. Of catching on to the lurker. 8 lurkers may be enough here. Oh. He's got his 8 lurkers. Sniped all the liberators. Okay. So he's holding on. He's holding on. And this can still go either way. This can still go either way here. The one big thing though is the Solo cannot let this base get up and running. He cannot let it get mining here. Speaking of, planetary is morphing in. The boys have arrived. So he has to fight for this. Lurkers are getting caught out. Yeah, lurkers. Solo, he does commit in. There's not enough here. Yeah, where are the rest of the lurkers? Yeah, very disjointed. The rest of the lurkers are just too far back. Too far back. They're still out of range. As ByuN takes another base. Ay, ay, ay. More expansions. Yeah, ByuN's getting out of control. At this point, he's outscaling Solar. More Liberators have arrived. Lurkers are exposed. Oh, that's gonna be what, 3, 4, 5 lurkers going down. Expensive losses for Solar. Digging out lurkers. Another base under fire. Throwing away Zerglings. That's how many? Those 8. There's been 18 lurkers going down over the past 4 minutes. Oh no! Yeah, it catches every single lurker here. Again, there's just not enough support. Lurkers on their own. They're vulnerable, Pat. They need help. Duh, the final lurker goes down. And again, Solo, he was never able to take up into Brood Lords, into Investors. Just stuck in a more mid-tier army, which is why he's just been outscaled. He's just been bullied. Once ByuN got his Liberators out. And he got there, Pat. He got there. Yeah, Solo's still just trickling in, throwing away Lings, throwing away Hydras. He cannot take this fight. As he bleeds out every Hydra. And this should be the last moments. Solo's running out of supply. ByuN still pushing in. We got 1 lurker to defend. Let's go. We got 1 lunker. Do we have a scan? Oh, we just ignore. There we go. There it is. GG gets called. The scan on the final lurker, and ByuN, he does fight back. He does put a point on the board. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, Solar initially was looking strong. He was able to gain map control, able to take that away from ByuN. We did notice, of course, that Solar, he did kind of rest on his laurels a little bit and did allow ByuN to stabilize and max out on 4 bases. We also did mention that it's difficult to break a 4-basing Terran. It wasn't until the 5th base was being taken where Solar started to pop off, but again, it took him a long time to switch into lurkers even. He had lurker upgrades ready. It took like 3-4 minutes to morph in his first wave of lurkers, and even then, by the time he did, we saw that ByuN was building up his Liberator counts, and the last Solar was stuck on a mid-tier army, stuck on Hydras, Lings, Banes, and Lurkers. In the end, he was just being out-traded, he was being just out-traded, overwhelmed. With that, GG. GG, well played. ByuN does force a game 4. We have it back and forth. Let's go. Let us go as we are loading into game number 4 here. Going to be loading into Mothership. We have a series. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Mothership, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Blue Zerg player. The Blue Zerg player himself, the South Korean Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is a Solar. Okay. The problem with Lingbane Hydra is that if you're stuck with it, you need to keep the pressure up. You need to be able to rotate, knock down base after base, keep the Terran player at home. It isn't really an army that's built to be able to, out-trade and be more efficient against a slower composition. You have to be as active as possible, as mobile as possible. That's the big advantage, right? Lingbane Hydra is a very mobile army. But when it comes to these more head-on engagements, they do struggle. And ByuN did slow the game down, got his 5th base, and got out of control. Meanwhile, we're going to welcome to Mothership. Solar does scout the bottom side, checking for expansions. Bearing in mind this is, of course, a 3-player spawn map. We're checking map here, we're looking. I'm looking. It's catching up in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to be settling in. From here, we'll see if Solar does adjust. Bearing in mind the last game, Solar, remember, it all began with an all-in, with a failed all-in. Solar who went for a Nidus all-in, Link Queen Nidus, and it did fail. It was shut down. ByuN took a lead from there. Solar did stabilize, is what I will say, but he was able to stabilize off of some rough fights from ByuN. ByuN was bleeding out a lot of fire, a lot of drops, I should say. And if you recall, we mentioned how Solar was able to gain control in the mid-game. In the mid-game, was able to gain control, able to take a lead, but then did lose it. This time, what do you have for us? After the failed all-in, I would imagine that this time Solar's going to just calm down and play standard. So far, nice micro against the Reaper. And ByuN is going for a 3rd CC before Starport. Economic build here out of our Terran. Meanwhile, every game so far, we have seen earlier lair timings out of Solar. Every game in the series, some earlier than others, but has always been lair first, and we're expecting that again. Solar pulls out of gas, so there's no crazy 3-minute lair timing. Pulls out, droning up. From here, we'll see if we go into anything more interesting. There we go. We are going for an add-on swap into Banshee play. I was curious to see if we're going to go Viking, for example, and go into early Stim. The answer is no. We're just going to be going for the add-on swap instead. Last game, we saw that ByuN did open up Raven, which was crazy. Here, we should be seeing Banshee. Should be. Okay, Banshee's on the way. Again, everything's as standard as it can be for ByuN. Solo's droning, pulls into gas. With that 100 gas, we're expecting the lair. Waiting for the queen. Queen pops out. And yep, once again, lair is on the way. That was what, a 425-ish lair timing. So lair first out of Solar. And if you recall, I expected to see this at least once in this series, maybe twice, but we've seen lair first every game. It's crazy. Once again, this should lead into a faster Hydrogen, into Evo chambers, into +1 range, into a more Hydra-heavy composition. It's a style that Soul's been very fond of as of late. I just didn't expect him to rely on it so heavily this series. It's been working well for him, to be fair. There's a double Evo chamber. Have our double chambers, double upgrades. Hellions poking in. Hopefully ByuN can retain these Hellions this time. Every game in this series we've seen ByuN kind of bleed out Hellions over time. And that leads into a weaker 7-minute push. Babysit the Hellions. Meanwhile, there's that range upgrade. Where's the Hydrogen though? This isn't as crisp here for Solo this time. There it is. Hydrogen's on the way. Once again, a more Hydra-heavy style. This does delay banelings. It's delighted to have a massive amount of Hydras. Oh! As the first queen does get saved, just barely. Clutch transfuse. Clutch transfuse. So it does defend. Now we have our delayed baneliness into delayed baneling speed. Hydras are amassing. And ByuN should be pushing the next 30 seconds. And remember, this move out should be lined up with the armory, and this time we have all these Hellions surviving. Okay. This time he retains the Hellions. Up until this point, whenever he does go for his tank push, there's only like 2 Hellions left alive. But this time we have all 6. If you recall, last game he had 4 Hellions left alive, I want to say. It was on White Rabbit. No, it was on the previous map, but he left them back at home to defend. He left them at the 3rd base. This time it's all coming together. And we should be morphing in those Hellbats. Cure would be proud. He'd be proud, Pat. As we have 2 tanks, 22 Marines, we have 2 Banshees as well, and of course 6 Hellbats. Now, ideally, you want to keep the Hellbats back. You want them to protect the tanks. You don't want them to push forward with the Marines, to ensure the tanks don't get surrounded. But we'll see. We'll see how those pieces all together. Tanks, they do move forward. Do have a massive concave of Hydras. Tanks do siege up. Things they went for the surround. They can win for the flank. Yeah, the lanes do melt. But there are just so many Hydras. Yeah, too many Hydras. They shut down both tanks, and with that, Solar shuts down the army, shuts down the push, and Solar has defended. Ay. Again, the tanks are a little bit more exposed, more further forward this time. And ByuN's in a rough position. Once again, this tank gun is reset. He's stuck at home. 4 CCs on the way, factories on the way. ByuN is going to try to turtle up and try to build up into a longer game. Solar taking up as well. There's the pit. Infestation pit, Hive Tech, Vipers, Lurkers. So Solar's going to be very comfortable building up. I do appreciate that ByuN is still being active. He is moving out. Bearing in mind that there are no Banelings ready for this, so these bio pushes can be terrifying. Banelings just now morphing in. Remember, late Baneling speed, so these are going to be slow Banes. See what ByuN can do. Now getting caught out. Oof. Does get caught out, so ByuN, he does get on top of the 5th base. And will force a cancel. Not bad. Does force a cancellation. Still no baiting speed. I'll get there eventually. There we go. And at least ByuN so far retains the army. Keeping Solo distracted, getting his 4th base. Solo does get eyes on this. But ByuN should be able to defend. He's got 3 tanks. So he's got 4 tanks in position. Setting up. Solo, he goes to the dive. Gets the first 2 tanks. He takes on 1, 2, 3 tanks will go down. Nice kiting here with the Marines. And ByuN holds. Okay, ByuN, he kites back well. Solo did overextend. And ByuN's actually going to be counterattacking. Okay. He moves out. Solar is in trouble here. He has to buy time. He has to buy time for what? For the Vipers. We have 3 Vipers on the way. A couple of Lurkers as well. Solar building up his army. Whereas ByuN, he has to be careful not to overextend. He's pushing deep on creep. Pushing in very deep. And he should be getting caught out here. Lurkers, they push forward. Gets the tank. Let's catch the tank. Oof. Medevac goes down. ByuN's still rallying across. I do appreciate this much more aggressive style with mass tank. ByuN is rallying. Setting up outside of the 5th. He has the high ground advantage. And where are the Vipers? Again, a blinding club would be insane here. The tanks are stacked up. Lurkers go for the counterattack. Vipers are on the way. Just now coming in. Ooh, we're a little bit premature. Yeah, Solo moves a little bit too soon. Blinding Cloud's now connecting, but these are after the. This is after the engage. Yeah, he got too excited. He got too excited. Landing Cloud runs out. And a very messy fight here. Solo, he barely holds on. Yeah, just barely. Solo, he holds, he defends. Messy fight. Did the Viper survive? Yes. Vipers did survive. Gathering energy. And you saw how committed ByuN was. ByuN, he plummets in supply. How many tanks did he lose? Jesus, 11. Oh my god, 11 tanks went down. ByuN down to 4. And again, he committed with everything. And I'm not so sure he can hold on. If there weren't any Vipers, then maybe. Solo's moving in. Tanks are exposed. And getting 1, 2, 3 tank kills. As ByuN was out of position. You know where the Vipers? Okay, just not coming in. Vipers are pushing forward. Blinding Clouds are coming in. Covering most of the tanks. Covering most. CC force a lift. And the Lurkers just go to town in the mineral line on the Marines as well. And not enough bio. We'll clean up all the Lurkers at least. Barely. Just barely. And we're getting messy, Pathy. Solo, he needs mining. He needs to saturate. Just lost another expansion. does pull away. Finds another base. Finds damage. And distracting Solar. Getting 5 drone kills. ByuN does catch a tank at least. Unforced out getting a kill, okay? That's a kill and a cancel. Ay, ay, ay. Even here, catching out 3 queens of their own. Nice PiGosaur here by ByuN. Catching out 2 queens even. And again, Solar is spread thin. Start defending with mainly wings. Ooh, does get a full medevac. And medevac's finally going down. Yeah, the drops are popping up at the same time we just move in. 20 SCVs go down, catching out 3 more tanks. Once again, the ByuN army out of position. Yeah, ByuN, he wasn't able to defend. Losing so much at the same time. The drop does pop up, kills the base. Does kill the hatchery. But it's not good enough. It's not good enough. ByuN sure he kills an expansion, but at the same time he lost 21 SCVs and 3 more tanks. ByuN needs more damage. As he's pushing with everything this time. Yeah, the mass on siege. Just the F2 mass on siege. ByuN pushing with everything he has. How many Vipers? 3. Okay, there's 3 Vipers here for Solar. Solar has to take it slow, pushing into all these tanks. It's not going to go well. Workers have arrived. At the same time, ByuN does hit with his drops. So far, Solar's keeping up. Shows those deductions or blinding clouds. Does go to the clouds. Jumps out, break out. Yeah, he breaks out, covers most of the tanks, and Solar holds. Yeah, Solar he holds. He shuts down the army. Tanks will do full. And Solar snowballing out of control, pushing on forward here once again into that 3rd base. There are some reinforcements. But he gets another tank. Oh my god, the Marines! Oh no! Yeah, they don't split. Massive lurker shots. The Marines get punished, and ByuN he falls sub 100 supply. Ah. ByuN has nothing left. He has 28 SCVs. Ah. Mules though, true. Ah, even economy. He has the mules. Let's go. Oh, good. So once again, Solar does trickle in. Jesus, the target fire. Like, good. He trades insanely efficiently here, by the way. The efficiency, man. He's crazy. Fighting like he has an even army supply, man. And this is nice. This is great. It's good. We need more. ByuN is microing his heart out with his 2 drops. But last, this will be shut down. Oof. Yeah, the double power bombs. Behind this, ByuN taking another expansion. Pushing on the top side, catching up for banelings. I mean, as Solar trickles in. Solar's racing on over. And again, ByuN does trade very well here. how many? Jesus. 38 lings. Pulling away at the same time. Ooh, I mean, he still has no economy there. Yeah, Solar, he does counterattack, hits the mineral line. GG gets called, and Solar will claim the series 3-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations, Solar. He will claim the series. Again, a very intense back and forth here. Shout out to ByuN at least forcing a game 4. But again, we had a very chaotic kind of back and forth here. Solar, once again, he was relying on these early and very heavy Hydra-based compositions the entire series. Interesting to see that, by the way, just because nowadays Solar does sprinkle it in, but he does not rely as heavily on it as he did here against ByuN. Very heavily reliant on those Hydras. We saw that ByuN, he did adapt throughout the course of the series. I did like the setup that he had overall, going for his Hellbat push, building up his tanks and rallying across the map. But as we pointed out, the problem with this style that ByuN went for, specifically here on Mothership, was because it was hyper aggressive. Once he lost a fight, once he lost momentum, he lost everything. He lost, what, 11 tanks? Like, there was one big fight where he pushed everything across the map, lost 11 tanks, lost map control, lost the base, and that was game. That was game then and there. The game still kept going for another, what, 10 minutes. But ByuN, he lost momentum, lost control, and it takes so long to try to replenish that army. Also, you might be looking at that game, might be thinking, hold up, where were any kind of ghosts or anything like that? Remember, ByuN, he was pretty all in. Like, he was not taking up into liberators or taking up into ghosts. He had a limited economy, and he was hyper aggressive. Like, again, borderline all in with how he was playing, trying to break and trying to pull Solar apart. Didn't want to slow down to tech up, as that would slow down the pushes. That will slow down the aggression. That would give more momentum to Solar. And again, ByuN, he was finding damage, right? Despite having a really rough mid game, his drops were distracting. They were killing hatcheries, killing drones. They were kind of keeping Solar at bay somewhat, but only somewhat. GG. GG, well played. With that, we now are going to be following Solar into the next series. Going to be following him into the grand finals. Let's go, Bible. Let's go. For now, though, we are going to be cutting to a short break. We're going to be cutting to a short break here. When we come back, we'll have the grand finals. It's going to be a best of 5 between Solar and MaxPax. We'll see you soon. See you soon after the break. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of the broadcast. Welcome back to the grand finals. The grand finals here of the PiGosaur Cup number 64. We just wrapped up with the semis. Solar did just take down ByuN 3-1 with a very intense back and forth series overall. Longer games, I should say. But now we're getting into the finals. Best of 5. MaxPax versus Solar is ready for us, of course. So we're jumping into game 1. Game 1 is going to be on Celestial Enclave. Let's go. Let us go. And I'm always excited to see a little bit more variety out of MaxPax. What I mean by that is that it is so common to see MaxPax either against a Protoss or against a Terran player, because it's so common in these online tournaments for there to be a PvP matchup. I'm referring to MaxPax versus Classic, MaxPax versus Hero, or a PvT matchup, MaxPax versus Clem, or versus ByuN or versus Cure. It's very common to cover him against a Terran or a Protoss. It is a rare sight to see a Zerg player this deep in a tournament, as Zerg players are few and far between. So I'm ready. I'm excited. This morning in the bottom left hand corner of Celestial Enclave, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the Danish Protoss representing Satsum Gaming. It is MaxPax. Here we go. Now coming into this, MaxPax, I would say his weakest matchup is PvZ. Actually, nah. In current era, it might be PvP now that I think about it. For a very long time, I would have actually stood by that, saying that his PvZ was kind of weaker than his other matchups. But that was previously, like 2 years ago, back when PvP, when he had the best PvP in the world. Nowadays, that is no longer the case, and yeah, as a result, we'll see how he compares to Solar. We'll see how he does build up. I will say when it comes to MaxPax's Protoss versus Zerg style, it's typically a lot more standard. It's less aggressive and less chaotic compared to both Classic and Hero. And that is where I feel like MaxPax kind of times be taken advantage of, just because he's not as assertive as some of the others, specifically in this matchup. But we'll see. We'll see how we do adjust and how we approach the game on Celestial Enclave. Welcome. This map is often vetoed. It's welcome to Celestial Enclave. This is a very often vetoed map. It does have a pocket base. That's the reason for this, of course. Pocket expansion here, so this can be taken as a 3rd, 4th, or 5th base later on down the line. So it can be very difficult to break a turtling player here. If we were to take the linear base as a 3rd and then take this base as a 4th base, we can build up, turtle up into Sky Toss. So we often do see a lot of all-ins from Zerg players. We see a lot of 3-base all-ins, or even muta play from Zerg players to break a turtling player. We'll see how Solar will approach this. When it comes to, I was referring a lot to MaxPax and how he approaches PvZ. When it comes to Solar, you should recognize Solar is very fond of all-ins. We see a lot of all-ins out of Solar, specifically in the Zerg versus Protoss matchup. You might see the direct contrast with his Zerg versus Terran. Solar was playing very mid to late game against ByuN, very much so, like playing for the Hydra style, playing into a longer 4, 5, 6 base economy. Here against MaxPax, we're expecting Solar to commit on 3 bases, a 4th base just for Larva. So we'll keep an eye on his tech. We'll see how Solar does approach this and the direction of Solar's tech as well. But he's very fond of 3-base all-ins against Protoss. For now though, here we go. We are going to be joining Hatch Gas Pool into the 3rd. So far so good. MaxPax does rock up. And it's going to be up to Solar to keep up with the Adept. So far so good. Stargate open out of MaxPax. Does open Stargate. Getting to his Oracle, getting to a standard opener. Everything's looking normal so far. And we'll see if MaxPax has kind of caught on to the current meta shift. If you've been watching us cast PvZ as of late, then you would know we've been discussing this, referring to recent weeks and recent months, and that is the shift out of +1 and Blink and into +1 and Charge. We've been seeing this a lot from players like Hero, players like Classic, players like Zaun, all the Korean Protoss players, and even players like Trigger as well, to embrace a much more aggressive mid-game, punishing standard play. I don't know if MaxPax is one to delve into that though. We're about to find out. True. We're about to find out. As MaxPax does take the linear 3rd. Again, you do typically want to save the pocket base until later on down the line. You want to save it. That is an early council. Okay, earlier Twilight Council, delayed Forge. This looks like Glaive Adepts. So it looks like Glaive's out of MaxPax. If Solar skips his Roach one, he's going to be in trouble. So far, 1, 2, 3 drone kills. 4 drones even. Nice damage here with the Oracle. Doesn't get another. Oh, Lair first. Yeah, Lair first out of Solar. If he's going Lair first into a Hydra Den, then he's going to be in so much trouble here. The Twilight Council's almost done. Again, I don't see a Forge, extra gateways. Show us what she got. Charge, a Blink, or Glaives. Oh, early Blink. Okay, never mind. No Forge here tells me that there's a higher chance this might turn into an 8k 3-base all-in, which is very out of meta. Oh, okay, late Forge. So it does go for a delayed Forge. Now this is looking a little bit safer instead. What does this mean? We often used to see this on... Oh god, I'm so bad with maps that we get out of the map pool. Think of Royal Blood? No, maybe. But on smaller maps, when you expect your opponents to go for an all-in, going into Blink this quickly does allow you to defend, right? It means that Blink will be done in time for something like a 2 or 3 base all-in against a German taxi. It does also allow MaxPax to be a little bit more assertive earlier on. And we'll keep an eye on his gases. We'll see how committed he's going to be. As the Oracle does break in, no Spore here at the third base. Solo gets punished. 6 turns go down. Nice damage. Nice damage out of MaxPax. This also means that Solo won't be punished. If you remember, when we saw the fast Lair, I was like, oh, that means he's skipping Roaches. And he is, right? He skipped Roaches, he's going straight Link Hydra. If MaxPax had gone for Glaives or early Charge, then MaxPax would punish Solar. But Solar, he's getting away with pure Link Hydra. So Solar's being greedy, he's getting away with it, he's knocking down those rocks as well. So far, undetected. Uh-oh. And MaxPax, he doesn't know. Does spot some Zerglings, though. Solar, he does deviate. MaxPax, he reveals, and he still doesn't notice the rocks are being knocked down. And do you remember what we said at the start of this series? How Solar is very fond of 3-base all-ins in ZVP. No drones. No drones, just for Larva. This is a 3-base all-in. 3-base all-in of Solar, stopping workers at 64, massing up pure Link Hydra, knocking down those rocks, and committing into an all-in. And this should hit before Storm finishes. Oh boy, Storm is not yet done. It's all or nothing for Solar. Did he forget? Okay, no. Okay, he got range first. Hydra speed is still not yet done. Does have range. Lings, they do slip in. And Solar, he does catch the Oracle. Oracle goes down. There's a massive opening here into the natural. Storm is still halfway done. And Solar, can he break that natural? It's going to be close. Oh. Yeah, it's going to be close here. Storm will finish. Do we have any Templar? There's 2. 2 Templar. There's going to be at least 2 Storms. MaxPax actually has to make those Storms count. A lack of Hydra speed does make this awkward, but does depower the Robo. Ooh, there's the first Storm. Yeah, 1 Storm connects. There's 2 more coming in. There's a second Storm. There's 1 Storm left. Ooh, and there it is. Final Storm does connect. Hydras are being softened up. And MaxPax, can he hold? It's getting close. Yeah, it's getting close here. The Archon does morph in. MaxPax, he has enough. Yeah, he has enough. He's holding on. I spoke too soon. We have reinforcements. Oh no. Yeah, Lings are trickling in. Hydras, they start to step forward. They focus on the Robo. And there's no batteries. There's no batteries here. There's no Storms. We have Zealous morphing in. These are charge lots. Again, Solar, he needs more support here, though. The Hydras are on their own. Yeah, the Hydras are exposed. Expensive losses here for Solar, bleeding out 1, 2, 3, 4 Hydras. He needs those Zerglings. And again, Solar, he's so close to breaking MaxPax. He's close. Casito. He peels off those Lings. Slips into the mineral line. Hydras, they kite back. Lings, they just... Oh, there's a cannon in the main. Storm lands. Yeah, the cannon does defend the main. Nice sit out there from MaxPax. Archon's morphing in as well. Ooh, MaxPax does with that some Stalkers though. Yeah, some expensive losses. 2, 3 Stalkers going down. Ay, ay, ay. Expensive losses. Yeah, And here comes a rally. Here comes the rest of the rally here. Cohen gets caught. And I think Solo's done it. At this point, unfortunately, MaxPax lost too many Stalkers. He lost too many Stalkers. He's down to 3. Down to 3 Stalkers left. That was meant to be the backbone of the army. So no Stalkers remaining. And Solo, he has done it. He has broken MaxPax. He's broken. Again, MaxPax, he just didn't notice the Lings knocking down the rocks. He didn't notice the all-in. GG gets called, and Solar takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, MaxPax, he was caught with his pants down. The pants were down. He failed to scout the 4th base to confirm the lack of saturation. He failed to check the rocks to confirm that there was an opening into the bases as well. That's why MaxPax, he had no shield batteries, he had no defensive setup, did have a cannon in the main base, but he had no defensive structures at the natural, so there was a massive opening. Did allow for the army to come in. On top of that, Robo got depowered as well, so a very shaky defense there from MaxPax. Barely wasn't able to hold on. Had some really nice storms. True, there was some really nice storms, but barely not enough. GG, well played. With that, Solo takes the lead, and now we're going to be loading into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. And this is kind of what we expect. Just winding it back to what we mentioned at the start of the series, Solar is very fond of all-ins, so we should be expecting a lot of 3-base play out of Solar this series. It's on MaxPax to scout. He has to scout, has to confirm, has to recognize what's going on. And spawning in the top right hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Team Falcons, leading the series 1-0. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Danish Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing System Gaming. It is MaxPax. Now, the other scary thing here is that just because Solar is known for all-ins in this matchup doesn't mean that he's going to do the same build 2 games in a row, or even 3 games, or even twice in this series. There are a plethora of builds that you can go for here, where you can go into a more Roach-heavy style and Roach-heavy composition. You can go into Muta play, you can go into Nidus play. Solar does mix it up. So we'll see. Shall see. When it comes to the openers, we should be seeing the same thing out of MaxPax, going for a Stargate, but the follow-up here yet to be determined. Last game, we saw that MaxPax went for a very early Twilight Council into early Blink, which is very out of fashion nowadays. It's a very safe way to play. As I mentioned before, it does keep you safe against 2-base all-ins, but we would not have seen a 2-base all-in on Celestial Enclave, which was the weird thing about it. I guess it does allow you to be a little bit more active in the mid-game, but we didn't actually see that out of MaxPax. So it was an interesting choice. As MaxPax is being as annoying as possible. Do have our hatch gas pool. And welcome to White Rabbit. White Rabbit is one of the larger maps of the map pool. Larger map, longer rush distance by ground. Does have a very open entrance here into the natural. So because of this, we have seen a lot of 3-base all-ins strike this area here in between the bases. And likewise rotate to the 3rd base as well, which is also more open as well. Is more open. So open bases, open expansions. The base is also more spread out, so in a longer game it can be difficult to rotate between them. Eyes are on Solar. But now Stargate open out of MaxPax, and again, when it comes to the openers, MaxPax, he did a lot of damage with his oracles. He killed, what, like, I want to say 10 drones in total, eventually when it came to his oracle harass. He's doing a lot of damage. But again, the scouting is what's paramount. We got scouts, we got to confirm. And again, after that last game, I'm sure MaxPax is now on notice. It's now on notice. MaxPax does poke in. Pokes in with a shade. It does invest into the Stalker and not another Adept. Interesting. So MaxPax is going to forego aggression in favor of hunting down the Overlord and keeping Solar in the dark. Okay. So Solar is going to be denied vision, and we could see something cheeky out of MaxPax. As the Overlord is going to be hunted down. Solar does move out. And it does make an extra pair of links here. These links have a little bit more potential just because Solar confirms there is no second adept. So links, they poke in, they get eyes on the third. The Oracle does get 2 drones, but oh, it does sustain a lot of hull damage. And we have once again an early Twilight Council and earlier gateways. Now, last game I was confident I was like Glaive Adepts. This time I'm more confident. This should be Glaives here from MaxPax. These gateways are much faster this time, but we'll see. We saw something very similar last game which led into early Blink, to be fair. But it's gotta be Glaives, right? Like it's if he goes for a delayed Forge, then that screams Blink. But if we see no Forge, then should be Glaives. Yep, there it is, Glaive Adepts. So remember, this is what we saw. This is the build that we thought it was the last game. And then MaxPax took delayed gateways and a later Forge. This time the build makes a lot more sense. And again, this is designed to punish someone that's skipping roaches. Do you see what I see? I see a roach warren. I see a roach warren here. If this was last game, fun fact, MaxPax would be having such a better time. As in game 1, Solar did skip roaches and went straight Ling Hydra. Now, just because there's a roach warren doesn't mean that there are going to be any roaches. It's going to be on Solar to confirm that he even needs to make any. So Lings, they move out. They catch out some transfer workers. No battery at the third. Oh. Yeah, no battery. Lings are on patrol. You can see MaxPax banking up those adepts. That's a lot of adepts here with a natural. He's now moving out. And Lings, they scout. Yeah, big scout. Big scout here by Solar. He knows a roach production has begun, and we should be getting ready to wall off. Just fully wall off here, this natural. We'll see if he does move in position. MaxPax is racing across the map. We have 6 roaches in production. Solar needs a little bit more time. And MaxPax, he commits even harder. He warps in more adepts. Yeah, 4 more adepts back at home. So MaxPax, he's committed. Gets on top of the first queen. Queen does pull away in time. Yeah, it does pull away. Adepts, they shade in. We do have somewhat of a wall here. Does fully wall up. Yeah, just barely. Just barely buying time. The wall is broken. Spore goes down. Adepts, they get into the mineral line. They're getting into the main. No damage yet, but finally they get in. 1, 2, 3 drones going down. Adepts, they shade in towards the 4th base as well. And Soul's being pulled apart. He's being pulled apart here. 8 drones falling. Can we get any more? 9, 10. Oof. Yeah, 10 drones going down. MaxPax takes the lead. And Soul is not set up for a counterattack. Yeah, he's not set up for it. Roach speed is done, so that should allow him to move out, but he's droning. He's droning up behind this, trying to resaturate, and so far MaxPax does do enough damage, does take a lead, and behind this is now transitioning into Blink, into Storm, into Archons. Ooh. As the Oracles, they punish, getting 3, 4 more drones. Oof. Does cost MaxPax one of the Oracles, though. Now, my assumption here. Solar, he's droning. That is true. He's droning up to 3 bases. Does he drone up his 4th, though? That's what I want to know. Because he may not. So he drones up to 71. Massing up his Roach Hydra. And in my mind, we can go down one of 2 routes. Either Solar takes gases, drones up, gets Infestation Bit, goes into Hive Tech, and goes into Hydra Lurker, or he commits here on a lower drone count into an all-in with pure Roach Hydra. Because he sustained so many economic losses, it would make sense to commit. But we'll see. Yeah, 3 Overlords on the way. This tells us that Solar most likely is going to make nothing but Roaches. Nothing but Roaches, nothing but Hydras. Solar, he's not droning. He's not droning up. We have Hydra speed on the way. MaxPax does scout. Does see some saturation more than last game. That is true. And thankfully, MaxPax throws down some side defense. Cannons are on the way. Shield batteries are on the way. He's got 6 High Templar ready and waiting. That's going to be a lot of storms. And he's building up his immortal count. As time goes on, it's getting better and better for MaxPax. Solar, he has to end the game soon. And Solar's about to max out. He's about to max out. So Solar is going all in. He's not taking up. He's not droning. And Solar's going to be up, what, 80 supply? But remember, the suit does lie, right? The Zerg army here is inflated due to the roaches. MaxPax does have a more efficient composition with storms. It comes down to the storms, though. As Solar does distract, the main army pushing in towards the center. Nice storm. A storm with the Zerglings. There's one more storm left. Cybercore goes down. It takes out the Cybercore. Storm deflects on the right-hand side. So far, MaxPax is holding. So far, there's that next storm. There's about to be another. There's about to be another storm. Oof, does connect. Brook. Oh no, he's into the storms. Oh my god. Yeah, insane damage here in the center. And as we mentioned, like again, the soup does lie in MaxPax. He's so far holding. He's building up the immortal count. As we get more immortals, it's going to be an easier hold. And Solar, he's failing to break through. Failing to break through here. Again, over time, it's getting worse for Solar. The gap in supply is closing. Solar, can he surround? Here, there's only one High Templar. I will say that MaxPax, he has too many High Templar on the right-hand side. You can see here, he has, what, 7 High Templar on the right-hand side? Like, there's too many Templar here. It's unnecessary. Yeah, MaxPax out of position, does end one storm. But these High Templar, they shouldn't be here. Main army does move in. Another, Jesus, another storm lands. And the main army is rotating. Here come all the storms, here come all the High Templar. MaxPax has arrived. Has plenty of storms left. Solar, can he pull this up? Oh god. Yeah, storms, they blanket the army. Oh god. And Solar is being deflected. What did he really achieve here? He got a gateway, he got a cybercore, traded with the main army. And Solar, he's still not droning, by the way. Like, he's still all in. He's been all in this entire time. He's still rallying. Yeah, it's a Templar, okay. Does snipe a High Templar. Takes down the cannon. Can now get into the mineral line. Damage is being done. At the same time, he has the high ground here on the left-hand side. Where the High Templar, where are the storms. You hold the High Templar here on the right. Oof. And High Templar going down, sniping one. There's 4 left. Up. There's 4 High Templar remaining. They're exposed. And Solar, he's done it. Wow, he has done it. He does catch the High Templar. There's 2 Templar left. MaxPax was out of position. And again, a very chaotic defense here from MaxPax, who will lose the final High Templar. And Solar's done it. Wow, Solar, he's done it. He has broken the 3rd base. Things are looking bleak, but GG gets called, and Solar, he will take a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, MaxPax, he had the tools to defend, but you saw that he had so many High Templar on the right-hand side, and eventually Solar did recognize that. He noticed, like, hold on, you're a little bit too heavy on the High Templar here on the right. Let's actually focus on the left instead. So he rotated around. I did kind of refocus his attention, was able to get some better trades on the left-hand side instead, and as he was rotating back and forth, the High Templar were caught out. There was 7 Templar there when it came to that group, that main, like, kind of marauding group of High Templar. He got caught out in the open, lost all the High Templar. GG. GG, well played. Again, MaxPax's defense was heavily reliant on those storms, and he was caught out. And with that, we're now getting into game number 3. Whew, getting into game 3 here. And again, a very intense and very intense game there, where MaxPax was ahead. He was able to cripple the economy. He forced the all-in, and he was defending straight. He was defending initially, but again, he was eventually broken down over time. Again, he had a really hard time splitting up his army efficiently and effectively. And GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting to game 3. Going to be loading into 10,000 feet. Let's go. And we're hoping for a back and forth. I'm getting similar vibes to Solar versus ByuN, where, like, I want to see a game 4, I want to see a game 5, I want to see more games and a greater series out of this, but the pressure is on MaxPax. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Team Falcons, leading the series 2-0. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player. We have the Danish Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Here we go. And welcome to 10,000 feet, as we do have a 15 hatchery here by Solar. It does throw it down just in time before the probe arrives. But 10,000 feet is a very small map. Small map, a short rush distance by ground. We do often see a lot of all-ins on 10,000 feet as a result of that, but this map is a little bit different. On the one hand, yes, it is a small map, true. On the other hand, this forward base is very defendable. The initial forward base setup, I should say. So we have our natural, we have our third. Typically, this third base would be over on the right. This third base wouldn't exist. This forward base wouldn't exist typically, and you'd have the base here, the triangular third base or the linear third base. And expanding in either location does kind of spread yourself a little bit thin and does allow for alternate attack options, as you can attack either here at the entrance of the natural, or here on the left hand side, the entrance of the third, or here on the right hand side, the entrance to the other third base. That's typically how like maps and bases work. Specifically on 10,000 feet, you can expand forward instead. You can expand forward, taking this center expansion, and then suddenly you can defend your main, your natural, and your third base, all by keeping your army in one centralized location instead. So because of that, it is easier to defend on 3 bases when it comes to keeping up with your opponent's army movement, and just throwing down side defense and holding on to 3 bases. But again, the rush distance is so short. And that means that if a fight goes poorly, if a fight goes your way, momentum can swing very, very heavily in whoever wins that engagement, as they can rally across the map that much faster. Well, let's go. Let us go. So we're loading into, again, 10,000 feet. So far, standard opener just gate expanded to Cybercore into a Stargate. Now, last game we had MaxPax opening up Glaive Adepts. I don't expect to see Glaives 2 games in a row. Right, like typically we expect to see players vary things up. Game 1, he went early Blink. Game 2, early Glaives. Game 3, do we play standard? Do we go early Charge? Do we go second Stargate Voidry into Tempest Rush, which can be quite effective on this map? We'll see. One of the reasons why something like a Tempest Rush can be effective here is just because of the terrain. Specifically, this ravine here in this expansion is exposed to the center of the map, and you can set up tanks, Broodlords, Tempests, siege units can punish this forward base, for sure. Swarm hosts, any kind of siege units. Ranged lurkers, I suppose. But we'll see. And the pressure is on MaxPax. Solar pokes in. Shouldn't get a probe. Don't make it. That was close. 2 things go down. They get a full scout though. They get confirmation of the Stargate at least. Oh, this time MaxPax does open up Double Adept. Okay. Double Adept into the forward third. I bring this up just because if you remember last game, Solar did go Adept into Stalker and he killed the first Overlord to hide his Glaive Adepts. This time we're hiding nothing. Ooh, 2 drones go down and we scout the Evo Chamber. Okay, so the early Evo Chamber is indicative of Ling Hydra. It's indicative of +1 melee, and more importantly, oh, never mind. Okay, Solar. You have my attention, baby. Alright, so what's going on here? First things first, so what we were getting at, early Evo Chamber indicates +1 melee, indicates Ling Hydra as a composition, and it indicates a standard game as well. But MaxPax scouted. He scouted, so now he knows it's going to be a standard game, and because he scouted, Solar does cancel, and he rescouts. He does rescout, does confirm, no Evo Chamber, no chamber, no +1, and alarm bells should be ringing. He's like, hold up, okay, you're not going Ling Hydra, something's wrong, something weird's going on. Because Solar is no longer setting up for a longer game. Lair is finishing up. Should be for the Hydra Den. But without the Evo Chamber, it should be a much more committed Hydra play instead. So again, nice rescout out of MaxPax. 4th base is being taken. MaxPax does go for a standard follow-up, going blink into Forge. This is once again a delayed Forge. This is the same build that we saw in Game 1, if you recall. Game 1, Celestial Enclave, early blink, late +1. Meanwhile, as we assumed, after cancelling the Evo Chamber, we have the Hydra Den on the way, and again, this should be for a stronger Hydra timing. We're expecting a 3-base all-in. But remember, MaxPax, he scouted. He knows. MaxPax did scout. As is being active. Remember, he can be active like this because he's getting earlier blink than normal. So MaxPax poking out across the map, catching a tumor. Gets one, gets two. Gaining ground, keeping Solar on the back foot. And we have Storm behind us as well. Meanwhile, Solar, he's going to be cutting workers here at 63. That is 3-base saturation. 66 at most. Oh, do you see what I see? Delayed Evo Chamber. This tells us Solar, he's going to be macroing. So delayed Evo Chamber, and then bam, Infestation bit thereafter. So yes, Solar, he's going to drone. For the first time this series, he does plan on droning up. This is a very mature decision. The downside, though, is how late the Evo Chamber is compared to what it was going to be. So late Chamber, late tech, late decision here by Solar. But that is an early Lurker Den. Okay. So there's some pros and there are some cons to this, of course. As we mentioned before, late upgrades, late tech, it is going to slow Solar down. But the early Lurker Den does, kind of reveal here what the plan is. Joining up to 4 bases, rushing to Lurkers, and trying to hit that Lurker timing. So very flexible play here by Solar. It does mean that all these cannons and shield batteries are a bit of a waste. MaxPax, he's getting ready, by the way. Like, he's setting up, getting ready for an all-in, investing in all this side defense that he doesn't need to. Thankfully, he doesn't stay on 3 bases for too much longer. So 4th base now on the way. Solar, he's gaining map control. MaxPax is trying to figure out what's going on. What has MaxPax seen? Yeah, he doesn't know. The thing is that he hasn't seen the further tech. For all that MaxPax has seen so far, it does scream all in. That's why he's getting ready like this. Jesus, yeah, throwing down more cannons, more shield batteries. Solar getting to Hive Tech, joining up even further, getting up to 86. And again, for the first time this series, Solar joins up his 4th. He's macroing, Pap. He's macroing. And MaxPax, he just confirmed. Just went for the revelation. He sees all the drones. He knows. MaxPax is now aware. You see he's now trying to be active. He knows he cannot just let Solar drone up like this. But now they're Lurkers. Are they on hold position? No, cannot. There was potential there if he kept them in hold position, not gonna lie. Solar coming in for the run by. Yeah, it shouldn't achieve too much here. Oh, might get called out. Does bleed out 1, 2, 3 Hydras. Yeah, 3 Hydras go down, getting up to 4 actually. Oh my god. Yeah, nice big goes here by MaxPax, getting up to 5 Hydras, not 4. At the same time, Lurkers, they move out. We can see MaxPax trying to take up in towards Skytos. Lurkers, I believe without range, they cannot hit that mineral line. Oh my god. Ooh, as the prism goes down. Nice setup out of Solar. Oh my god, massive shots. Yeah, massive Lurker shots going off. Zones back MaxPax. Solar trying to come in from behind. A lot of movement. Yeah, we have a lot of movement here. Storm goes off. Lings, they do force out all these storms. There's still so many more storms. That was what, 4 storms? There's still what, 5 left? 6? It's a lot of High Templar. It's a lot of storms. Jeez, how many are there? 8? 8 High Templar. And again, MaxPax is just trying to turtle up and defend until he can break out into Skytos. The Tempests are coming. Tempests are on the way. Solar does try to commit in, collapsing on the High Templar. That's a lot of storms. Oh, he eats them. Oh no! Yeah, the storms, they blanket the entire army. And Solar, he plummets in supply. Oh, the storms, Backy. Tempests are revealed. Solar trying to force his way in. He's trying. The Lurkers, they hold their own, okay. The Lurkers are holding their own. Hydra's trying to zone away the Tempest. I said the run by, catching out 12 drones. Yeah, 12 drones go down. And it looks like Solar's about to lose all these Lurkers. Yeah, he's going to lose them here. There's only 2 Hydras left. Down to 1, down to 0. He has to get out of here. Has to waddle away. And MaxPax, the comeback has begun. In regards to the series. Just catching out the army. Massive storms. And see, this is why you don't drone. GG. GG gets called. MaxPax will put a point on the board. We have a series. GG. Whew. GG, well played, as we are now getting into our next game here. And again, MaxPax, he does fight back, does put a point on the board. The one game where Solar decides to drone up and get up to 4 bases. Again, MaxPax able to embrace that late game, able to get into Tempest, able to build up his mass High Templar. He had 8 Templar in total, so many storms. GG. GG, well played. Solar just got too excited, trying to force the issue, trying to push in, trying to end the game before Sky Toss. Wasn't able to do so. I mean, technically he did. He did end the game before Sky Toss. True. He got what he wanted. He got what he wanted. And let's go. We're getting into game 4. We're going to be loading into the Old Republic. Let's go. Let's go. As we are loading into that 4th game and spawning in the top right hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Blue Protoss player. We have the Danish Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming, beginning that comeback. It is MaxPax. Here we go. Now, this is where I'm going to start being a little bit more concerned for Solar, but we'll see. I do feel like this map is going to be assisting him when it comes to his preferred style. Now, last game, we did see Solar try to mix and match. He was initially going for a standard opener, then he mixed it up into something more aggressive, into an all-in, and then he shifted gears once again into a more macro game, which did favor MaxPax, right? MaxPax, he was able to stabilize, able to turtle up on 4 bases, and build up into Sky Toss and shut Solar down. What I will say, though, welcome to the Old Republic. The Old Republic is a much more open map, much more exposed bases. Longer rush distance by ground, that is true. It does have a longer rush distance, but specifically the 4th base. The 4th base is very difficult to defend. It's not as defendable. It's a little more open, a little more accessible here. And specifically, these big 3-base all-ins do hit very hard on the Old Republic. So we'll see how MaxPax will adjust his approach. We have seen already MaxPax be aggressive. We've already seen Glaive Adepts out of MaxPax. We could see that again. We could see something else. We'll see. From Solar, we're kind of expecting 3-base play at least. Muta play could be an option. What we've seen out of MaxPax has been early blink timings. I've seen a lot of early blink, and I'm leaning towards that again here as well. But we'll see. As our players are opening up. Joining with saturating. Here we have a take of choice. Once again, Stargate opener out of MaxPax. To be expected. Does open Stargate, but what we're really interested in is the follow-up, the Twilight Council. The take of choice. We have seen MaxPax mix in, say, delayed Archon drop openers, for example, off of a Stargate. True, he has mixed that in every now and then. That's also on the table. I would say, especially if he believes that Solar would go Ling Hydra again, this is where these early charge timings hit very strong, and the reason why they are so prevalent in the current meta. But again, we haven't really seen that at a MaxPax yet. Jovan does his own thing. Oh, as MaxPax, he does open up with a Stalker after the Adept. Does Night Vision, does hunt down the Overlord. And Soul's in the dark. Now, the last time this happened, MaxPax did go into Glaive Adepts. True. So that might be in the back of Solar's mind. Or that will be in the back of his mind. Early Eva Chamber out of Solar, +1 melee. If you recall, we did attempt this in game number 4. Sorry, game number 3. This was the initial goal last game. Filling Hydra. It's going to have our Twilight Council. We'll keep an eye on the timing of the next set of gateways. Melee's on the way. Max actually gets a full scout. He confirms the Eva Chamber. He knows. He knows. He's now aware. Ooh, earlier Robo into Forge. Okay. Should be Blink. Technically, we could see Charge. But no Glaives. Not this time. Solar picks in, pulls away. Yep, early charge here out of MaxPax. The big difference between last game and this one is the earlier Robo was indicating charge. And we'll see if MaxPax can punish. I mentioned this previously, but players that do go Ling Hydra do often struggle against these early charge timings. And MaxPax has potential. And they almost get caught out. Does shade away. Cool. Leading out a probe. And Solar still is in the dark. He doesn't know what's going on. Skipped his Roach Warren. No Baneliness either. This could just kill, to be honest. We've seen it kill before. So MaxPax, he may just be able to aim move across the map. Solar is still playing blind. Even if he sees the Zealots, I don't know if he can really do anything about it, to be honest. So we have the Hydrogen on the way. And MaxPax is about to move out. So how many gateways? I believe 8. He's building up to 8 gates. He'll first morph in the Archons, then he can reinforce with the Zealots across the map. And again, I think he might just roll over Solar. Like I do. Aye, aye, aye. Here come the Archons. Solar still has no idea. At this point, he should have recognized, actually. At this point, the fact that he's seen no Stalkers and no Stalker aggression is a big tell. True. That is a tell. Does what the Prism. Prism moves out. Archons get spotted. Hydras are amassing. And if we build up enough Hydras in time, then Solar, he should be okay. Hydras are in production. Solar coming in from behind. And collapsing the Archons, and Solar, he should be fine here. Again, there's no extra warp in. If we had extra warp ins of Zealots, then maybe. Solar will deflect. Overlord speed on the way. Solar, he's not droning up his 4th. Cutting workers at 67. Oh, no, never mind. Makes 3 more drones. Okay, he's droning. He's droning, he's saturating. He's macroing up. We have a game. Solar, he wants that Prism. Will not get it. Yeah, Solar drones on his 4th base. Now we have the Lurker Den into Hive Tech. We are building up. Behind this, MaxPax going into double Robo, double Immortal production. And currently, I do favor MaxPax's position. I feel like there's going to be a window. There's going to be a timing where MaxPax can break out with Mass Storm before there are Lurkers. Solar's in a rough position here. Solar, he cannot deny the bases. Cannot deny the expansions. MaxPax is getting out of hand. It's getting out of control. Six lurkers morphing in. Once again, this is just a very tech-heavy composition here. Just pure High Templar Immortal. Very reliant on those storms. Zelce knocked down the expansion. And again, Solar here, sorry, Max actually has no intention of breaking his opponent. Just poking in, trading, keeping Solar busy. Zelce do get into the mineral line. Archons as well. Drones are going down, and Solar's being pulled apart. Yeah, he's just being torn apart here. Oh no! High Templar get caught out though. Yeah, Lingzek collapse in. Massive storms. Yeah, massive storm in the Hydras. Lurkers are going down as well, and MaxPax, he will overwhelm. He breaks the main army, and with that, we are going to the ace match. GG gets called. We're going to game 5. Whew. GG. Aye. GG, well played. Again, Solar, it did feel like he, again, wasn't aware of what was going on until the last moment. Of course, he was stuck on Ling Hydra against a more charged or Archon heavy composition. This is where Roaches do excel, because you need some kind of buffer. You need something. Ling Hydra is just so fragile. It's made out of paper. It crumbles very easily, very quickly, as you saw here as well. Like, it just has no presence here compared to a charged or Archon storm heavy composition. So with that, Max actually broke through before we got into a mass amount of lurkers. And we're going all the way to the ace match. Let's go. Getting into game 5. And we'll see how this story ends. We'll see who can claim the series. Does MaxPax pull off the reverse sweep? Does Solar bring it back? Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. MaxPax is getting out of hand. Does that mean he's getting into feed instead? Oh no. Oh, the feed, Pappy. Oh, the feed. Aye. But here we go. We're getting to the ace match here. And again, Solar being forced into these longer games. He's been playing into MaxPax's hand. That is where MaxPax has been thriving that much more. Now, what I do appreciate, though, about that last game was that MaxPax did mix things up here. He's been playing very standard, and that's where he's been struggling that much more. The last game, he went into charge. Went into Archons. He was able to catch Solar instead with his pants down. Kind of punish and abuse that more Ling Hydra heavy composition. So I appreciate that MaxPax did mix it up. And we'll see how he adjusts coming into our next game. Solar forcing the unnatural natural. Of course, to expand the third location. Meanwhile, welcome to Winter Madness. Winter Madness is one of the larger maps in the map pool, longer rushes to spy ground, and more defendable bases as well. Much more defendable compared to Royal Blood. Old Republic, I meant to say. I don't know why, Royal Blood is on the mind. But compared to the Old Republic, much more defendable, and I would say this map would favor MaxPax if the goal was to build up into that mid to late game composition. The pressure's on Solar. Again, he was successful in the first 2 games with his 3 base all-ins. We need to get back to that, I feel, or bring something else to the table. Oh, looks like there was a bit of a pause. Hopefully everything's okay. Our Stargate open out of MaxPax, opening up Stargate, opening up Oracle, and we'll see Solar's tech of choice. Does he go Lair first, does he go Eva Chamber first, or Roach Warren? What's it going to be? As MaxPax does come into the main. Turns a shade. Nothing major here. Confirming no extra gas mining. Oh, he's going to get caught out there. As he adapts, it does fall. Oof. Yeah, not quite worth it there for MaxPax. As from here, we'll take the expansion. There's one less adept here to work with, so Solo does have a bit of a presence on the map. It's moving out. The real question becomes the timing of the Twilight Council. The Council, the Robo, the Forge. Now we're still joining up. Max expects in. We have the answer. It's going to be lair first. Okay, lair first before Evo Chamber. It's a 420-ish. 415-ish lair timing. Meanwhile, Twilight Council's been thrown down. This is an earlier council, by the way. So earlier Twilight Council. It's behind the natural mineral line as well. 2 more gates. This looks like Glaves. This does look like Glaive depths. Typically, when we go into Blink, the gateways are a little bit later. So I'm leaning towards Glaves here, but we'll see. We'll keep an eye on MaxPax. Checking with the third base. Safety Roach Horn out of Solar. Oh no, he's going into Blink into a later Forge once again. If you remember, we saw this twice now in the series, now the third time. So early Blink, later Forge, later upgrade. It's a bit of a give and take. On the one hand, it does mean that your upgrades are late. That is true. On the other hand, it does mean you can be a little bit more active with those Stalkers earlier on. We saw this on 10,000 feet, if you recall. Did see this on 10,000 feet. And on Celestial. So we're going back into Blink. Meanwhile, Solar back at home. Oh, going into a Spire. Okay. So Roaches into Mutas. Bold move. We'll see if we can get away with it. The Mass Stalkers have been revealed. Now Solar's fully aware. He's fully aware of the Blink follow-up. It's going to be once again Blink into Storm. Plus on melee has begun. Lings, they attempt to counterattack. But can Solar maintain his fourth base? It's going to be close. Hatchery does finish. We have 14 more Lings on the way. Again, it's going to be a shaky hold here for Solar. Oh, the Stasis. Solar, does he notice? Yeah, he's going to bait out the Stasis trap. Coming in from behind. Trying to at least... Oh, no! Does go in too far. Does get caught. But he's defending until the Mutas are done. Until the Spire is ready. Stasis trap is baited. Solar does defend. He does save the expansion down to half HP, and we have 10 Mutas on the way. Now, back at home, we do have some Stalkers defensively. There's nothing ready in the mineral lines. Again, MaxPax has no reason to get ready back at home. He's not aware of the Mutas. They have the Mutas. They have potential. They have potential. Thankfully, MaxPax did invest into Blink, so he has plenty of Blink Stalkers, plenty of anti-air. Means they don't quite catch the Stalkers. Yeah, Revelation on the hatcheries. Mutas move out. Cannons are being turned down. And it's getting ready. Yeah, MaxPax is getting ready here. As Mutas, they do catch some probes at least. They're trying to. As they head into the main, Lings, they do hit the fourth. Ooh, that's a kill, not a cancel. Aye, aye, aye. Yeah, MaxPax was distracted. Massive pickoff. That's 400 minerals down the drain. Mutas, they get into the natural. Getting 4 probes in total. And so far, not bad for Solar. Still wants more, though. MaxPax's response here is to go into a second Stargate. Second Stargate, Mass Phoenix's Archons are building up as well, just focusing as anti-air, turtling up on 3. Turtling up on 3 expansions. Meanwhile, Solar, he's committing, he's doubling down, still going into Mass Mutas. He's going Mass Muta. So he rotates over towards the natural. Again, Revelation does spot the meters. Solo getting ready with his lings. Getting ready for his own run by. Even just turns to fight the Stalkers. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 Stalkers going down. Decent trades at the same time. Lings, they run into Archons. MaxPax, he is holding on to 3 bases. But again, bleeding out a lot of Stalkers. Speed out Stalkers, 3 beacons on the way for Anion Pulse Crystals for Phoenix range. Solar is taking more bases. Oh, gets a Phoenix, gets 1, gets 2. Just 1. 1 Phoenix goes down, does punish the Stalkers as well. Again, without Archons here, there's nothing to really zone away the Mutas. There we go. Speaking of, the Archons do rotate at the same time. Lings, they do strike, they do hit the 3rd. Archons out of position. You just have to back off. Oh, but the cannons, Jesus. They buy so much time. That was Solar's moment. Oh, and the Lings are being thrown away. Yeah, Lings are being thrown away. Oh, I say that, sorry, they surround the Archon. Oh my god. Yes, they're Solar. Oof. Archon shot goes off. Has to respect those Archons. That 1 volley was brutal. Use they rotate back around. Another 2 Archon shots. But Solar, has he done it? Again, because MaxPax is stuck on 3 bases, these have been some expensive losses here, losing all their Stalkers earlier. Expensive trades for MaxPax. Ling Bane is rolling in. Phoenixes are distracted. Bane's rolling to the mineral line. He gets in. Yeah, late reaction here by MaxPax. Oof, getting 9 probes. 9 probes go down. More Stalkers do fall. Mutas are getting out of hand. They're getting out of control. Once again, has to respect those Archons. Pulls away. Ling Bane pushing forward. Once again, going for the mineral line. We're trickling in. Still decent connections though. Connections are decent. Nice lift on the Banelings. He gets in. No reaction. Yeah, no reaction. Ooh, 34 Bane, 34 probes going down. Ay. And MaxPax is being torn apart. GG gets called. He cannot keep up. And Solar, he will claim this series 3-2, becoming the PiGosaur Cup number 64 champion. GG. Whew. GG, well played. MaxPax completely caught with his pants down by the Mutas here. Again, he was applying pressure, was poking towards the bases, but the Spire was unseen. The Mutas were unscouted. We saw that the cannons and static defense were very late for MaxPax, as he wasn't quite ready for those Mutas. Did have Stalkers, did have Phoenixes, but again had a hard time keeping up. You could also argue that we had a similar issue here that we saw on not Title Citadel, on White Rabbit, where the army wasn't quite split as best as it could have been. It took a long time for Archons to rotate to the natural. It took a very long time. You saw there for a good, 2-3 minutes where Solar was abusing the natural base while the Archons were staying at the 3rd instead. They had their own role, of course, so making sure that Lings didn't push in, but it also meant that the Mutas could abuse that natural base even more. We saw something very similar on White Rabbit when we had 7 High Templar at the 3rd base instead of, at the 3rd/4th base location instead of the natural, where that was where the main army, the main bulk was engaging, and MaxPax was out of position. He had a hard time kind of splitting off his army, splitting off, and cutting his army in half effectively to defend both locations at once. Once the Archons got in position, then he could start defending his natural, but until then, so many Stalkers went down. The Mutas gained a lot of value. They gained a lot of value. They pulled MaxPax apart. Also, a couple of other key moments, of course. MaxPax losing the 4th base. Remember, that was a kill, not a cancel. ByuN's getting into the mineral lines. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations. Congratulations to Solar, as Solar does claim the series and takes down MaxPax. GG. GG. Hi, hi, hi. But yeah, GG, congratulations here to Solar. Again, a very intense back and forth. I was concerned it was going to be a 3-0, but shout out to MaxPax for making a series out of it. I was concerned it was going to be more one-sided, but MaxPax did fight back and did force a game 4 and even a game 5 as well. GG. Este MaxPax. But with that, GG, well played. With that, we are going to be wrapping up soon. Jesus, that was a 3 hours for 2 best of 5s. Oh my god. We're going to be wrapping up soon here. That does wrap up our coverage of the PiGosaur Cup number 64. When it comes to the rest of our schedule, bam, we do have our schedule ready for you. We should be live tomorrow morning. As you can see here, we're going to be live tomorrow morning with the OSC Elite Rising Star Tournament. That is a tournament for up-and-coming players, restricted and limiting the sign-ups of restricted and limiting the signups. It does not allow players that have achieved too many or have placed too highly in big major offline events like EWC, like DreamHacks, for example. So it is for up and coming players. It does feature players like Jumi, for example. Jumi, like not quite Nickrat. I want to say Nickrat, he recently promoted. So Jumi, Young Yakov comes to mind as well. Shameless, true, Shameless as well. So for those up and comers, that is going to be in around 12 hours time. 12 hours time, we'll be live with OSC. Meanwhile, we have PiGosaur Cup. PiGosaur Cup is going to be on Wednesday. That will be a live broadcast of the PiGosaur Cup event. We have Wardy TV Monday on Wednesday as well. That's going to be a replay cast of Wardy's tournament. We then have Home Story Cup. You can see Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we are still catching up with Home Story Cup. That's going to be Home Story Cup Group D and the playoffs of Home Story Cup as well. So we'll be catching up with those matches, catching up with Home Story Cup. Likewise, we have the podcast on Thursday. That is our weekly talk show, a weekly podcast of all things StarCraft. And we have our Amateur and Open Cup over the weekend. Masters 1 Open and Sparkling Tuna Cup as well. So we have a full schedule here for the week. We have Tuesday and Friday evenings off, but outside of that, non-stop StarCraft. True. Non-stop StarCraft. Before we get into it though, we do have one more special thing ready for us here, and that is a viewer replay cast. Yeah, we've been holding on to this for a while. Holding on to it. But again, we do actually host viewer replay casts every now and then. We do have a way to redeem in the chat. I believe it's 10,000 points, but 10,000 channel points does allow you to redeem a replay cast, and we will cover your replay, and we won't be too harsh. Yeah. So to have one viewer replay to cover. Uno más, papi, uno más, before we wrap up. So if you just want some pro StarCraft, we're going to be wrapping up for now. Otherwise, we'll be getting into some more amateur StarCraft. Some viewer StarCraft. True. Un moment. Oh, we have some new overlays, so I'm trying to find it. Oh, God. Okay. Alright, so we're going to be getting to a ZVZ. It's been a while. Going to be getting to a ZVZ here. Featuring one of our lovely viewers. Hold on, I can fix up the title. Viewer replay cast. Beautiful. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of White Rabbits, we have one of our viewers themselves, the Australian Zerg player, the Red Zerg. It is Ragnar. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Blue Zerg player. I think he's Australian as well. I do recognize the ID. It is Norbert. The ladder hero, pappy. Let's go. We have a ZVZ. I appreciate that we're getting into a ZVZ as well. ZVZs are quite rare. ZVZs are very rare nowadays. They're not seen too often, so I appreciate that we get to delve into a matchup that is rarely seen nowadays. I appreciate it. In a sea of PvPs and TVTs, we have one lone Zerg versus Zerg matchup on the ladder. Let's go, baby, let's go. I appreciate it. Interesting openers here. It is going to be a hatch gas pool, more of a standard opener out of Ragnar. Meanwhile, Norbert is going for an early gas and early pool timing. Okay, so a much more aggressive build out of Norbert with the earlier gas. That means earlier link speed, potentially earlier Baneliness, and earlier Bane Bust as well. We'll see when and if he pulls out a gas. But again, hyper aggressive delayed expansion. So Norbert is going to be the aggressor. Ragnar will be the defender. Ragnar is going hatch pool late gas. Late gas geyser here out of our Zerg player. It's a very safe way to open up. Going for a much later gas geyser leads to earlier queens and earlier link production slightly. Again, because on the ladder, I would imagine they're somewhat familiar with each other. This is where metagaming goes on, especially on the Oceanic, on the Australian server. Like, you do become accustomed to your opponents as you play like the same like groove of people time and time again. It's a smaller player pool. So Zero is moving in. Link speed is on the way. You can see here that Norbert, he stays in gas. He stays in gas. But Norbert, he drones? Wait, what? What's going on? So because he stays in gas, we're expecting a Baneliness here, but he's getting a fast third. Huh. And he's skipping his queen. Okay, okay. I mean, this should still be an all-in, but a really quirky style. He's droning. Wait, what? hold on. Ah. I missed the ladder. It's where builds, they stop making sense, baby. They stop making sense. So, a lot's going on here. One, again, insanely fast. Link speed is almost done, and Ragnar has not even begun. He only just now begins link speed. Like, there's a massive window of time here where Norbert has a tech advantage. Does he pull the boys? Wait, what? No, we're just transferring? Ah, okay, we're just gonna lose all that mining time, I suppose. Okay. For those that are curious, this is around diamond level, by the way, around diamond 3. Diamond 3. But we're going for a delayed link flood. Again, the issue here when it comes to continued gas mining, we have 160 gas. That could have been minerals, right? All that gas isn't being spent on anything. This should be a Bane Bust. The hatchery makes sense if we don't want any queens because we have no injections, but now we have spines on the way? Okay. Okay. The reaction from Ragnar makes perfect sense. Like, Ragnar, because he had a later gas geyser, because he has late link speed, a spine crawler is necessary to defend. Spine crawler, queens, like, this is necessary because he's stuck with slow links. So this is perfectly fine. Like, Ragnar, he's reacting well. I don't know what the hell Norbert's doing. Like, Norbert's all in, so I'm not entirely certain as to the purpose of these spine crawlers. Especially when Norbert, when he scouts, he sees a spine crawler on the way. That tells us, he also sees all these slow links as well, that there's no link speed. So Norbert, he's seeing all this information telling him that Ragnar is the defender, so there's no need to invest into these spine crawlers here. So this is a bit of a waste. This is a waste, and again, we should have seen an earlier Bane Nest. Ragnar, he's reacting, responding well, getting into his own Bane Nest, into his own eventual Link Bane counterattack, even cancels the spine once he realizes he is safe. Okay. Again, like, good decision making here. Like, it makes sense. Like, it that's all that I want out of these players sometimes, you know? I just want them to make sense. Shout out to Ragnar. I will say, though, that Ragnar at this point should be now counterattacking. Like, now he has the potential to be aggressive. The one downside, he doesn't see where the Lings are, so he's not fully aware of their positioning. He should have seen that the Lings didn't race back home because he has eyes on all the attack pods. So he should know that they're somewhere, and we should be seeing like 1 or 2 safety banelings here. Norbert, he's now getting more spines. Jesus, this is such a waste of money. Like, I'll be honest, this is so expensive. He's getting 3 more spines. It's crazy. He's crazy, man. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Deadly Donkey Kitten in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. As Ragnar moves out, so Norbert moves in. The Lings, they get into the Queen. Meanwhile, Deadly Donkey Kitten, are you from Japan? I'm familiar with Deadly Kitten, but maybe you're just related. Maybe that's not you. I don't. Well, I know that Deadly Kitten is a Japanese, I think Japanese Zerg player. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. Oh, hey, there you go. Este Deadly Kitten. Thank you for the raid. Best of luck in Legacy with Japan. I do know that you play in that from time to time. Best of luck. As Ragnar, he does defend, but this is where now I have to be a little bit critical of Ragnar. Up until this point, everything made sense, but Ragnar, he was cutting workers quite heavily here, and the drone count is quite low. So the economy here is stifled, and on top of that, after that defense, Ragnar can start to be active. We can start to be active, we can start to be aggressive, we can start to move out. Like, because we can see everything, we can see that there's no way we can be aggressive here at the third base, but Ragnar doesn't know that. And there's a world where if Norbert didn't have these spine crawlers, Ragnar could punish. He could punish, he could abuse, he could be active, sniping a queen, popping off with his banelings. I would say at this point, Ragnar is being overly defensive here. And where are the banelings, by the way? Like, again, I'm feeling uneasy seeing this many lings and no banelings against Ling Bane from Norbert. The banelings are coming. We have a pure ling defense out of Ragnar. Where are the banelings, Pat? Por favor. There we go. They're late. They're very late. The banelings are already here. Oh, God. Norbert, he might just kill the base. Yeah, he's going for the hatchery. Banelings, they do crash in. Oh, my God. The remove command. They're headed for the mineral line. And Ragnar, he has to engage. He's trying to. Oh, God. Banelings get in. Massive donations. Drones go down to 29 workers. At the same time, third base also falls. That was 14 drone kills. Ay. Fun fact, because Norbert hasn't been droning, Norbert isn't actually that far ahead economically. He's not that far ahead. Going for a lair. I don't even know what this lair is for. He has no gas. What can he afford? Like, we're just pressing buttons, baby. Let's go. What do I mean by that? We got an Evo chamber, no upgrades. True. Evo chamber, lair. No, true. We're getting gas. Okay. He does have some gas mining. Ragnar, he has all those banelings left over. He's counterattacking. There are 2 defensive banelings here for Norbert. He's got 2 banelings of his own. Oh, no. Oh. Yeah, messy engage here. A lot of connections. A lot of banelings go down. Yeah, very nice engage from Norbert. He got like 6 banelings with 2 of his own. Messy engage out of Ragnar. And Norbert is holding. Norbert, he's holding on. Now, what I'm a little bit afraid of here... Oh, okay, Roachhorn. I was going to say that he could even go into a Spire and go into Mutaplay. Oh, no, not like this. Norbert, get out of here! Get out of here! No! Bailey's they crash in. Norbert, he has nothing left. Keep going. Keep going. No, there's nothing. There's nothing here. Keep going. My eyes racing home. You can do it. Be aggressive. I believe in you. He's racing back home to defend his banelings, but the lings, they can't really do much here. We don't have to come home, Bappy. Believe in yourself. So now we're moving out. Back at home, Norbert, he's bought enough time to build up some roaches. At this point, Norbert is looking to outscale his opponents, but without defensive banelings of his own, Norbert is very prone to a surround. As Ragnar does try to commit in, the banelings are late. Yeah, messy engage here from Ragnar. It came in too soon. Getting his own Roachhorn, and now we're taking up. Okay. We're backing up, we're taking up. Ragnar, he's droning, getting his own Roachhorn. We're building up into the mid game. A little bit messy here when it comes to the Rally of the Overlords, the Rally of the Drones. But the game is slowing down. Let's go. As Norbert is heavily supply blocked. Oh, going to Roach Hydra. I'll be honest, we can't really afford Hydra tech. He has 27 drones, by the way. This is under a 2-base economy. 27 drones. We can't afford Hydras. You're crazy. I'm talking a little bit critical about this and maybe helping out some people in the chat as well. When you're in a low economy like this, taking gas, guys, is hurting you more than anything. We need mineral income to be able to sustain ourselves and afford an army. So taking gases this quickly often does hurt us unless it's for a specific reason. For example, affording lurkers in a later game or getting to like 2-base muta, then you kind of prioritize gases. But in this kind of game state, like, this is hurting Norbert more than helping him. And you can see Norbert, he has 600 gas in the bank and no minerals. He needs mineral income, not gas. So he's over prioritizing gas here. That is hurting Norbert. Ragnar has a much more efficient kind of economy. Even here, Ragnar has too much gas. You can see he's banking up 1,500 gas. Jesus. So we could do it with the 4th base. It's hard to take up. So again, we are trying to build up into Roach Hydra. I will say that Roach Ravager is typically greater than Roach Hydra, typically. If we can take them to lurkers, then you'd be able to outscale, of course. Different story with lurkers. Yeah, speaking of, there it is, lurker den. So Norbert is taking up. This is where I'm a little bit concerned for Ragnar. We need to be active soon before lurkers hit the field. Otherwise, Ragnar is going to be outscaled. So the pressure's on Ragnar. He doesn't know it, but it is on. Norbert is in position at his 4th base, again slowly building up his Hydra counts. Slowly building up. Because Norbert is so spread thin and he refused to expand, again, this is a really weird 4th base location. He could be expanding in front of his bases. In front of his bases or next to his natural, and then his bases would be more centralized, his army would be closer together, it'd be easier to rotate between the 3rd and the 4th base. This expansion here is just so far away from the natural. If Ragnar just goes straight for the natural base, Norbert, he's heavily out of position. Norbert, he reveals his army. Ragnar can flank. And Norbert's about to be surrounded. No. Assuming we come in from behind. Never mind. Never mind. There was potential there. There was potential for a surround. Despite that, Norbert is deep on creep. He should not be here. Yeah, he should not be here. He's going to get surrounded. Yeah, Lings, they lock him down. Balins, they crash in. And Norbert, he will lose everything. Ay, ay, ay. We didn't need to be here, especially considering, remember, what is Norbert doing? He has a lurker den. Like, we can just chill, defend, then make lurkers. Like, there was no need to push that. Ay, ay, ay. What about the lurkers? We could have just calmed down. And with that Ragnar, he can counterattack. He will break the main base, or he'll break the main army, I should say. One lurker has arrived. It's going to be chased down. Does burrow. Okay, but it can be biled. Oh, the biles, let's go! Biles down the lurker. Uno más, papi, uno más. One more bile. There we go. Does connect. Shuts down the lurker. Overseers are on the way. And now we can move. There are 7 more lurkers. Jesus, there are 7 more lurkers in production. Okay. Norbert can hold the line. Technically, Ragnar can poke in and just stop biling away at the lurkers. This is fine as well. Supply blocking Norbert. Supply block. Again, there is a massive opening here into the natural. For now, though, we're focusing here on the 3rd. Oh, there's no creep connecting either. Like, specifically on this map, this ramp here is brutal. If Ragnar were to rotate over and take control of this high ground, what could Norbert do? Like, he'd just be stuck on the low ground. He'd be stuck at the 3rd. Go that position. Oh, we're just going to force our way through. Oh, God. Oh, God. So many roaches are going to be going down. Yeah, very messy engage, very messy fights. It's going to work, but at a cost here. So many roaches fall. The army clumps up. Oh, God. That's a meat grinder, and it looks like the lurkers will defend. I'm afraid to look. How many roaches was that? That was 41. 41 roaches going down. The lurkers, they defend. Ragnar, we just aped in, Batty. There was no need. Again, we could have just hit the natural. No. So 7 lurkers. They kill 40 roaches. Oh boy. I can see the Reddit post being made already. He's sending it to Hearthstone. He's like, is it Imba? Oh God. Oh no. It's like, Bab, we don't have to attack, Babby. It's okay. We can rotate. We can rotate. Not like this. Suddenly, this is becoming a little bit closer than it should be. Ragnar, he plummets in supply. He's lost his army supply lead. He lost all of his Ravagers as well. Norbert is actually building up his lurker counts, and yeah, Ragnar, he retakes his expansion as well. Sorry, Norbert, I meant to say. Norbert actually has a worker lead. Like, he has a worker lead, he has a greater economy. Everything is swinging in favor of Norbert. He used to play every week. Yeah. I see, I'm Swedish. Okay. Fair enough. Este deadly kid. As we have Ragnar taking up into lurkers. I don't think he needs to be honest. What is the counter to lurkers? I mean, vipers. Vipers, they can abduct, they can blinding cloud. So we could have gotten away with that, especially against a lower lurker count. Or we could have even just committed into Roach Ravager. Just the bile. But the passivity here is favoring Norbert when it comes to like keep recovering. So Ragnar's getting into his own lurkers. Bailey's rolling in. No reaction. Ooh. Yeah, no reaction. Massive connections. Mineral line goes down. Norbert takes a massive economic lead. And it will come down to the main engagements. And again, like, there's nothing defending these bases. Like, there's so much potential for one-buys and counterattacks. So much. Again, we just need the confidence to be active, Pappy. Need the confidence. As Norbert is taking us off of the map. Taking us off. Ragnar is taking him to Hive. I believe that's going to be over Norbert. Yeah, Norbert never went into Hive Tech. So there is a chance here that Ragnar gets into Vipers and Norbert does not. Oh, as Ragnar is forcing his way in. He's late to burrow though. Yeah, late to burrow the lurkers. A lot of lurkers already go down. Thankfully for Ragnar, Norbert, most of his lurkers are far back. They're far back. They're not actually engaging. So that was a messy fight out of Ragnar. And again, there's no need to push in here. we can attack elsewhere. There's so many other bases. As Norbert is maxed out. He's maxed, pushing through the center. Does leave all his lurkers at home to defend. Norbert is doing what I feel like Ragnar should have been doing up until this point. But Ragnar, he can take a fight, catching us on these Hydras. Yeah, lurkers, they do burrow. Hit bully back Norbert. He may get the extension there. Also, where are the vials, by the way? Where are the vials? Now being thrown down. Ooh, they do connect with the army. Jesus. Hey, 6 round too much. Yeah, 6 round too much here. He does bleed out a massive chunk of supply. And this should trigger a counterattack. Like at this point. At this point, Ragnar should then be pushing. He's getting his own Viper. Norbert does fall in supply. I'm getting deja vu. I'm pretty sure we've been in this position in previous Ragnar submitted replays where Ragnar just refuses to attack. No. Okay, we're gonna lock in. Gonna lock down. So we have a couple of Vipers building up. Despite having the Viper advantage over Norbert, I would still suggest not attacking into these lurkers and hopefully pushing elsewhere. If Ragnar does hit these northern bases, it may trigger a counterattack, a base trade even. Army gets spotted. Norbert's getting ready to move in. And Ragnar, does he push? Does he come back home? What's the plan? He's so far out of position. He's coming back home. Ay, ay, ay. The problem here with choosing to turn around is that there's no saving this expansion. The base will fall. And Norbert, he already backs off anyway. So better trade here for Norbert. Ooh, getting on top of the high ground as well. Norbert does our position. And I'm hoping that we trade bases here. Ragnar, go! The base is free! You can get it. Okay, coming in from behind. Blinding Clouds have potential. They have potential here. Vipers are too far back. Blinding Clouds, the lurker zone. Nice Blinding Clouds. And nice engage. Every lurker is going to be cleaned up. And we need a counterattack. We got to keep going. Otherwise, oh my god, Vials, they catch both Vipers. Jesus. Both Vipers do fall, but it's fine. Keep going. Keep going. Send it, Bappy. There are 0 lurkers left. There's 11 on the way. Keep going. No, don't take the ones in the face. Oh god. Vials connect, but the lurkers are going to be denied. There is detection, thankfully, as well. And Ragnar, he has done it. He breaks through the defensive line, takes out all the lurkers. Keep going. Keep pushing, Pappy. Go. Don't turn around. Let's go. No. Keep going. There we go. As it's putting into the bases, behind this there are 7 lurkers on the way at the linear 3rd location. But Ragnar, he will break the natural. He can break the main. He has lurkers here at the ramp, at the entrance. And Ragnar, he should be able to just kill everything. All the tech here. Lurkers are coming in from behind. But again, there's going to be lurkers pushing up the ramp into the lurkers of Ragnar. And he gets punished. There we go. 3 lurkers falling. Ragnar just has to maintain this position and just send Lings in. Just send them in. Oh, the move command. Oh god, Norbert, he move commands in. As it was everything. It was the entire army, and with that, that should be game. Aye, aye, aye. We can still keep the lurkers here, I would say, and just split up the army. But it's fine. He'll kill the main base anyway. Going for the hive. Denying +3. And what do we have left here? We do have a couple of lurkers still morphing in. I believe the lurker is being rebuilt. Yeah, lurker in here at the triangular 3rd. And how many lurkers are there? There's 8. 8 lurkers for Norbert. But they are split. And with detection, Ragnar should be able to break through. He only has 1 Overseer. That's a little bit concerning. There's a high chance that he gets sniped at some point. So he's going to be careful. There we go. 5 Overseers are on the way. Oh no, 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 the Overseer, the Overseer goes down. No detection. Yeah, no detection. The lurkers, they just go to town on Ragnar's army. Ragnar, he still breaks through, but he takes a lot of hits, a lot of damage. Oh god. As he does get the expansion. It's a messy fight. And Ragnar, he is losing all these roaches. There we go. Detection has arrived. Cleans up the lurkers. Keep going. GG. GG gets called, and Ragnar, he does take the game and does take down Norbert. GG. Ay, ay, ay. GG, well played. Whew, as Ragnar, he does take the game here. Again, shout out to Ragnar for submitting the replay, and also if you're in the chat, behave. What the hell? Again, this is a replay cast. We do have viewers submitting replays as well, so again, What's going on? Respect the players, Pappy. Regardless of who's playing, of course. Regardless of who's on the channel. Respect the players. GG well played. Again, overall, I do feel like Ragnar did play well. I will say one of the biggest criticisms, and I did say it a couple of times, was just lack of confidence after winning engagements and winning fights. When it comes to knowing when to push and knowing when to engage and knowing when to press an advantage as well. That's probably the biggest thing to say here. Obviously, there's a bunch of like little details here and there, but when it comes to like a more overall broad statement and broad summary, I think that would benefit Ragnar quite a bit. I feel quite a bit. Have some confidence, Piper, some confidence. It's always hard to say that because there's often like reasoning for how a player plays as well, right? Especially on the ladder, you know, how many games do you play where like you attack and then you die to a run by or a counter attack and you get punished for moving out? It's understandable. Specifically in ZVZ, a reason why that should be less of a factor is overlords, right? Because of overlords and because of vision, and because it takes so long to get into any kind of anti-air, you often should have map vision and map awareness. Both players should, really, to be fair, to get eyes on any kind of run bys and counterattacks and big kind of backstabs. That should be seen ahead of time, so you should be feeling a little bit more confident to be active and to move out and to be aggressive and to go for these pushes. But otherwise, GG. Otherwise, GG well played. GG well played. And with that, we're going to be wrapping up. Going to be wrapping up here for the evening. Again, we just wrapped up with the PiGosaur Cup broadcast, and now we're wrapping up with our viewer replay cast as well. Just one viewer replay. Just one. Only one. If you want your own replay submitted, you can do so via the in-game reward system. Sorry, the in-game reward. The chat, the Twitch, the inbuilt point system. I think it's 10,000 points. 10,000 points, but we will cast your replay. We'll cast. We'll get around to it. We'll get around to it. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Once again, our next broadcast should be in around 12 hours time. Our next cast is going to be OSC Elite Rising Star. This is a tournament designed to support up-and-coming players. Players like Shameless, players like Mute, Rebellion as well. Young Yakov, for example. These more up-and-coming players are supported there. Honmono, true. Honmono. Jumi as well. They're going to be facing off in 12 hours time. Otherwise, with that, we're going to be heading off. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Stick around. We're giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. We'll find someone to send everyone over to. Who's live? Who is live at the moment? Who can we raid? Let's have a look here. I know that Wardy was meant to be. Wardy's tournament is still in 45 minutes. Never mind. It's starting so late. Wait, what? Doesn't it usually start by now? Interesting. Okay, it's starting much later. Get some sleep. No sleep. I'm giga tired, but it's bunny time. But who's live at the moment? Who is live? Let's see. I see Sugarcoat the seconds. Response. We'll find someone to send everyone over to. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. And if you want to support us, true. If you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon. !Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments on a regular basis. So Sparkling Tunic Cup, Masters 1 Open, and Sea Duckling Open, it is all funded via Patreon. So you can help us there if you wish. Otherwise, you can also check us out on YouTube. If you see something you like here, and if you cannot watch it live, but you want those VODs, YouTube is the place to be. I see Lumia. That's a full schedule. Yeah. Oh, the StarCraft tab. Yes, that Lumia. But we'll find someone. So stick around, give them some love, give them some support. See you soon. See you soon, Pappy. See you soon. We'll see you next time. Until then, have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week. Take care. Take care.